And we are live on Facebook. Welcome, everybody. I'm Love Coach Scott Katamas. And this is our Saturday Night Live. Wait a minute. No, it's Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe. We started off with one. We keep growing and expanding. And this is a very special edition because this is the very end of World Unity Week. And they kind of kicked the show off with us last week. And we're kind of the concluding show. So it's been kind of fun to bookend it. And in between, there have been over 200 different presenters all sharing wisdom about unity. And we're going to be doing that. So tonight's theme is moving from separation into oneness. And we've got a wonderful group of speakers, performers, and Deborah, my partner, is going to tell you all about them in a moment. But I want to acknowledge some of our partners because this just keeps growing. It started as a fundraiser for Fantuzzi 3 months ago. And we've now grown to the point where we're seen by about 35,000 people. People watch the replays and our streaming partners. So we want to thank our streaming partners. This week, of course, World Unity Week that's streaming us. And every week, Awake TV. And every week, New Realities TV. And every week, you, yes, you watching, you can stream us by putting us on your Facebook page. Just go to the Love Coach Academy page on Facebook. You'll see us live right there. And you can stream us that way. And for those of you who are watching on Facebook or are watching on World Unity Week, guess what? You can actually still come on into our Zoom room. I put up on camera the way you do that. If you just go to globalpeacetribe.com, that's globalpeacetribe.com, and that'll take you to a wonderful page called Deborah Recommends. It's one of the web pages from Deborah Giusti. And right at the top, you're going to see Register Here. And that's where you can register for Saturday Night Live. And the moment you click it, actually, it'll give you the opportunity to join our broadcast. And the advantage to coming into the Zoom room is you can chat with us directly, and we bring some of you up at the end of the show to share inspirations, even songs for 1 minute. And so, again, come on into us by going to the globalpeacetribe.com. All right. So, again, I want to thank our sponsors. Jay Mayer has been a wonderful support person. We're going to hear from Jay, and you just saw the video about light touch. So thank you, Jay, for all that you do. And also want to acknowledge our other sponsor, Mark Sims. He's not available tonight. He's at a wedding, actually. But you're going to be hearing from one of his people, Maura. And now I want to turn over to my partner who really makes this show happen. Deborah Giusti she's a force of nature. It's remarkable how much Deborah does to make this show happen. So I just want to just take a look at this beautiful, amazing being and take a moment and just send her some appreciation because Deborah does a lot to make this show happen. So let's all twinkle Deborah. Everybody at home, twinkling Deborah. Thank you so much, Deborah, for all that you do.
Thank you, Scott, for being such a great partner as well. And everyone who's put energy and time and love into this show. It's amazing how it's grown. This is our 13th show that we started right after the lockdown, and we've done it every Saturday night. And it's been a total bright light to so many thousands of people during these very extraordinary times. And this week we are celebrating unity because we've been partnering with World Unity Week, as Scott said, and we are being broadcast on World Unity Week today, right now. And I want to welcome everyone from that broadcast. And this is really important. And we really certainly support unity right now. We feel like this is really the solution to a lot of our problems. For the current pandemic, that it's affecting our whole world, the solution is to really understand we're all interconnected and we have to look for health and care for everyone. And with the other things that are happening, like acknowledging the racism that cannot be tolerated anymore, we need a world that works for everyone, with love, harmony, abundance that works for all. And so that's why our theme tonight is inspiring humanity to oneness. And we can see that positive change can happen when people unify towards the common goal of love, peace, abundance, and harmony for all. And when people truly unify in their complete being, body, mind, and soul, we do realize that we all are one family. We all are one. And we've got amazing presenters, luminary musicians that are going to share this with you tonight. We have Neale Donald Walsch, who is prominent from the book Conversations with God. We have John Perkins, who wrote the book Confessions of an Economic Hitman, and he's also one of the founders of Pachamama Alliance, who is a nonprofit that we are going to be donating to tonight. We have David Gershon, Ava Parks, Reverend Kamala, Hayward, Ben Baller, who is one of the founders of World Unity Week, is going to be joining us. And we have amazing musicians. We have Indubious, we have Valerie Romanoff, Fantuzzi, and Scott Grace. So you'll see a bit of all of them through the whole program, which will last for a couple hours. And please continue to invite people, like Scott said. We were putting the link for the Zoom in the chat room on Facebook, or even share the replays that we'll be sending out after the broadcast on Monday. And at the very end, we have this really wonderful part of the program called Community Connections. And you can actually come on and share your heart and soul for 1 minute with everyone there. So if you feel inspired, stay till the end and we'll share with you how to come on and be part of the broadcast. And we're able to produce the future broadcast because of your incredible donations that happen during the broadcast that help to fund future broadcasts that we're going to do for you during the summer. And we also choose one prominent nonprofit organization that's really helping our community and our world. And we're able to donate $1,000 or more to the nonprofit. So your donations coming in is really helpful for have us continue and for the nonprofit. And our partner, Ken, helps to work with that. So I'm going to introduce Ken Kaufman now of New Living Expo.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our, I think it's our 14th show then, if we did 13 already. So that's amazing. We're sticking around and it looks like we're going to be here for a while. So one of my jobs is to find the nonprofits. And this week it was easy because John Perkins with Pachamama was our go-to fundraiser. And last week we had the John Anthony Foundation. So we're doing this every week and we really do it with your support. This is our regifting the economy, the new economy, where you give us some of your great money and we will in turn use some of it for production and then give it to the nonprofit, at least $1,000. So support us by doing this. We don't charge for the show, so we're doing this in lieu of charging a fee. And you can go to GoFundMe website and search for Saturday Night Live, Global Peace Tribe, and you will, I think it's just Global Peace Tribe, but you will find us there. We'll put it also in the chat several times during the night, so you'll see an easy way to hook up with us to, donate some money, even if it's $5 or $10, anything is appreciated. Every little bit helps, and it goes a long way to keep this going. So our support this year and this year in general is just to keep this going. So we want to be able to produce these shows with everybody in mind, the sponsors, the nonprofits, and you at home. So we want to give you the best we can, and we look forward to a wonderful night. And turn it back over to you, Scott or Deborah.
Yeah, and we always start our shows with music because music is one of the most unifying things and uplifting things that can happen. And we've got the fabulous Indubious with us. And I would love to start the show, and Evan and Skip are brothers and they have an amazing story. They are a very popular band on the conscious music scene. And their incredible story is they were born with cystic fibrosis and the doctors were attempting to convince them of their impending death at an early age, but instead they decided to emerge as a powerful force and changed the future of the conscious music scene. So their choice has been to use mind over matter, having a positive outlook with an inspiring message of love and hope. And that has helped them to come over their hardship and catapult them into the music scene. And they have adopted the motto, live indubiously, which means for them living a life without doubt or fear, and with faith. And we are all here with purpose. Their gift is their music. So we're so happy that they're joining us. Thank you so much, guys, for being with us.
Our pleasure. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Scott. Pure
All
joy
right.
to be here.
Take it away.
All right. Thank you all for having us. We're Indubious. Brother Evan, I'm Skip.
Whether you like it or not, we are infinite beings.
Yes,
The spark that inspires us from inception shall never end. As we move up in dimensions, this is more and more real. But here in the physical reality, we are bound to the physical realm. But here, all together, we're waking up and realizing this together. What a beautiful joy it is to have this discovery here together.
What a blessed gift this life is, this human experience.
Once again I say, we are infinite. Your man and praise of the Almighty, are you sick of digging warrior? Your world, we are infinite. A star does the human satellite. Once again I say, we are infinite. Your man and praise of the Almighty, I am the light inside of you, you are the light inside of me. We are the filament inside the other infinality. We come to spread our light and shine so brightly. You will see we're connected at the root and we are one eternally. Hey, let us take a lesson just to open up our eyes. Let this all be reunited with the part that never dies. This vehicle you're driving will return again in time, and the cycle will repeat. That's an offering. I'll tell them we are infinite. A star goes to you is that light. Once again I say, we are infinite. Your man who breathes of the Almighty, are you sick of digging warrior? Your world, we are infinite. A star goes to you is that light. Once again I say, we are infinite. Your man who breathes of the Almighty,
well, blessed is the sound and the love from within. Spirit has no end and you can find no beginning. What's a humbling honor and responsibility? To be a satellite, it is an opportunity. We cut away the ego, obliterate the mean. We bring about the we go, accentuate the we. Accelerate the healing of our one community, and we facilitate the being of a new reality. So don't fear, so don't wait. Reserve your time for your hope and your faith. But I realize before you find it's too late. Love it is the key to a heavenly state. So I say, hold it, your hydrate, uplift your children. Life it is that comes for your love and your wisdom. Darkness is a death, and a past on this vision. Loving is the light shining through up
your world, we are infinite. Your star does the human satellite. Once again I say, we are infinite. Your man of praise of the Almighty, are you sick of digging warrior? Your world, we are infinite. The star does the human satellite. Once again I say, we are infinite. Your man of praise of the Almighty, children of the covenant prepare. You open up your minds and spread some light and be aware. Yeah, in this time of prophecy, we all must take care to free up all your vision from the prison of despair, to spread a little happiness to everyone who there, to chant on Babylon to everyone who has an heir, to all of other families with the food and clothes to wear. Yeah, we will never die, we only move away from here. And while we're all alive, it's time to rise and wipe your tear. You see, you high yourself and all the love you've come to share. You value what is real and what is heart and what is pure. You cultivate compassion, love your life and leave your fear. And maybe in this time of confusion, we will see we are all reflections of the Almighty. So it goes, we are infinite. You start us here is that light. Once again, I say, God, we are infinite. Yeah, man, I praise of the Almighty. Are you sing it, you well, we are infinite. You start us here is that light. Once again, I say, God, we are infinite. Yeah, man, I praise of the Almighty. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu api chant om shanti shanti shanti. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu api chant om shanti shanti shanti. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu api chant om shanti shanti shanti. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu api chant om shanti shanti shanti. We are infinite.
Blessings and love,
Blessings and
Earth
love.
family.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Love y'all. Thank y'all so much for having us. It's a beautiful gathering of minds and beautiful hearts. And thank you so much for having us.
We'll be back with another tune soon, I think.
Absolutely, you will. I just want us to take a moment, like all that beautiful music, and what a powerful message. I just invite us to take a moment and just really tap into we are infinite. That is unity. That is oneness. When we tap into that awareness of our connection to all that is.
Feels good, right?
Oh, man. And we're so blessed, guys, because we're living at a time when our science through quantum physics is proving what our spiritual teachers have always been teaching us.
Have always known, and the roots people have always known this, and we're coming back to that. And it's in a roundabout way, science will prove it. So those that need that will know. And so we give thanks for that.
Oh, man. Well, thank you, guys, and looking forward to your next song in a little while. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Blessings.
Blessed.
One of the things that's been really awesome about pulling this show together is that people from all races, all ages, millennials, I'm guessing that the guys who just listened to are millennials, and I'm right in the middle of a baby boom generation. And our first speaker for the night is also a boomer. We're about the same age. And David has been going at it a long, long time. He's the co-founder and CEO of the Empowerment Institute and has been called the #1 expert on social change. David applies his visionary leadership and social change expertise to designing second-order change solutions for cities, countries, and the entire planet. This enables the seemingly impossible to become possible. He's been going at it for over 4 decades, and the initiatives he's designed has won many awards and achieved worldwide recognition. David, thank you so much for being with us, and I'm really eager to hear what you have to say.
Thank you, Scott. What an amazing show, and what an amazing piece of music we just were gifted. Bless you all. So you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one, is John Lennon's iconic invitation in his global anthem, Imagine, to believe in a profound possibility for our world, peace on earth. This evening, I invite you to become a dreamer with me and imagine humanity's greatest dream coming true in this decade. Are you ready to go on this adventure?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yay, Scott, and others who say yes. My global initiation into becoming a dreamer and experiencing the impossible become possible was organizing the first Earth Run in 1986 at the height of the Cold War. We engaged 25 million people, 45 heads of state in 62 countries, and 1 billion people through the global media. For 86 days, wherever the torch of peace went, all wars stopped, and the world was united as one, the theme of this evening. As part of the first Earth Run, we invited Grandmother Caroline of the Hopi Nation, the Hopis are the keepers of the dream, to offer their sacred dream to the world. We also invited Chief Shenandoah of the Iroquois Nation, the Iroquois, the keepers of the fire, to ignite the dream. Grandmother Caroline said the torch of peace would begin the great turning toward 1,000 years of peace by empowering humanity to live in harmony with self, each other, and the earth. She also said, to guide you on this transformative journey, you need to learn how to interpret the signs, and they are not what they appear on the surface. I was initiated as a keeper of the dream and keeper of the fire, and have been walking this path for 4 decades. Over this time, I have watched humanity standing on the precipice, looking for a sign that the dream of peace on earth placed in each human heart, and which John Lennon put to song, was upon us, is entering a transformative chrysalis and being provided sacred time to reflect on the lives and world we wish. A sign the show has been such a chrysalis, I would add. Does the name Corona, defined as a white light around a luminous body, provide us another sign? Does being told that the way we interact with one another is unsafe offer yet another clue for how we should interact in a better way? I believe the signs are telling us that the moment has arrived for humanity to awaken its most cherished dream. And John has offered us the talisman to go on this hero's journey, the consciousness of the dreamer. I wish to share with you this evening a gift I've had the privilege to bring into the world with an amazing team of dream keepers. It's a pathway to peace on earth that grows out of the peacemaking wisdom received through the first Earth Run. Its purpose, to empower humanity with the dream and fire to enable peace on earth by 2030, the end of this decade.
Peace on earth was actually possible. What if it was not only possible, but could be achieved by 2030? What if enough people playing a game could tip the world into this reality? We are building a movement of dream keepers, those who believe peace on earth is possible and are committed to making it a reality. Empowered with the 7 actions that enabled the first Earth Run to unite the world and create peace on earth over its 86-day journey. These 7 actions are designed as a global game that will take place between 2020 and 2030. The planet's wisdom keepers tell us that when 1/2 of 1% of humanity wholeheartedly believe peace on earth is possible, that's 40 million people, there will be enough coherence of thought and emotion to shift our collective consciousness to make this a reality. With the torch held high, we will experience the world we most want in our hearts coming into existence and witness the dawning of a new future for humankind. Play the game and have fun. Make friends. Create community. Make a difference. Celebrate our common humanity. At this critical time, when we are becoming more and more divided, this game serves as deep medicine to heal that which separates us. We invite you to be one of the planet's dream keepers and accept this sacred fire as a torchbearer for our future as a species. I'll carry the torch. Will you?
that up for a moment, everybody can go to peace2030.earth. Peace2030.earth.
Thank you for that, Scott. So let us take this in, Peace on Earth in a Decade. To help you integrate this dream into your heart, I wish to close with a short meditation. So close your eyes, open your heart, take a deep breath, and experience being at peace with yourself, and affirm, I am in harmony. And now experience yourself at peace with all human beings on the planet and affirm, I am in harmony with others. And experience yourself at peace with the earth and all living things and affirm, I am in harmony with all living beings on the earth. Imagine your experience of harmony now rippling, literally this moment, around the world and all of humanity experiencing oneness with one another. Imagine peace on earth by 2030. Imagine yourself as one of the souls on planet Earth at this moment who accepted the heroic call to be a dream keeper and made this happen. Fully let this vision resonate in your body, in your heart, in your mind, and your soul. Just take a moment to let it in. So, those of you called to go on this amazing adventure with us, we invite to join us. Peace2030.earth is one way to play with us. Another is to become a master of the game and join the free Jedi training, which starts on July 8th, which will have people from around the world. And with that, I offer you my blessings, and may peace be with you, and may peace be with all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, David. And just tell us for a moment, just a little bit about the Jedi training.
So the Jedi training is where we learn the 7 frequency raising qualities of the 7 actions. And they are oneness, they are unity, they are love, and others. And so these frequency raising qualities where you go very deep into your own being, and then you learn how to master the game itself.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, David, for being with us. Really appreciate your beautiful sharing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Scott. Pleasure to be here, and thanks for all the good work that you're doing and everyone on this show. Bless you all.
You know, it's so beautiful watching how it all ties together. The music from Indubious, the meditation, David's work, and then what you're about to hear about, and to introduce really all about our sponsor and an organization that we're really working closely with. Turning back over to Deborah.
Yes, we have the deep pleasure to share with you now about an historic event that's going to happen very soon, July 5th through 14th, that's going to take place all around the world, the Harmonic Convergence 2020. And this is a global meditation that's going to invite peaceful extraterrestrials to show themselves with thousands of light ships across the sky, and is being created to collectively raise consciousness, planetary stewardship all over the world by lifting humanity into a deeper resonance, coherence, and world peace. And to tell you more about this is a beautiful woman, Maura Hoffman. Whenever there is the edge of the emerging new paradigm, Maura's on the very tip of the edge there, telling everyone about it. She is a cosmic fairy weaving magic among all of our brilliant souls on the planet now. And she takes her sales and marketing background of the corporate worlds and puts it into the spiritual world and meditation world. And you'll always find her at the major cutting edge conferences, weaving her magic backstage, on the stage as an MC, through the crowds. And now she's supporting, working with Mark Sims on the Harmonic Convergence and helping bring speakers and weave the web together to have an amazing worldwide gathering. So thank you, Maura, for all your work. And please tell us more about the Harmonic Convergence 2020.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Ken. Thank you for everyone on this show for making this Saturday Night Live pretty awesome. And it really is my honor and my joy to get to share with you all about what Mark Sims is doing. And I really encourage you, you saw some videos earlier that spoke about Mark. His passion is contagious, and his incredible mission is a mission for all of us. And you can look at more about his book, and that's another whole incredible rabbit hole, marksims.com. And I'm sure Deborah will put that in the side for us, because Mark had an amazing experience. And for those that came on early, you saw a video that Mark was visited by this wonderful star being that gave him incredible downloads. And he was very guided to host this amazing, and it's going to be online due to where our world is right now, this extraordinary harmonic convergence, because at this time, the planets are coming together in such a way from July 5th to July 14th that amazing things have the primordial soup to expand from consciousness to our own inner being and awakenings. And during this conference, we are going to have extraordinary speakers. Every day there will be Indigenous elders, Chief Phil Lane, and so many others coming on to share their wisdom and their knowledge and their light. Every day we'll have scientific experts speaking about everything from UFOs to the structure of space-time. Nassim Haramein with the Resonant Science Foundation and the Art Crystals. And we'll have Andrea Malone speaking about technologies that can really create coherence. And one of my favorites, Matthias Di Stefano, this beautiful young man, and he's on Gaia, and he's doing the initiation series, and he's going to be sharing some very special highlights about this harmonic convergence. And something else that Mark has done that is really special to me, he was given from this beautiful star being 13 songs with really precise guidance to take some of these favorite old songs and update them with new lyrics that will raise consciousness, that will open our hearts and really anchor us into whole new levels of peace and helping to shift the paradigm. Because we all know frequency is such a part of that enlightenment process and this harmonic convergence. One of the songs, and you may have seen this video in the past on this very SNL show, and I encourage you to take a look on YouTube or just Google on Facebook. Peace is the word. And they took the song Grease. And when we were younger, we all saw Grease is the word that you heard. And what he was guided to do was take out the word grease and replace it with peace. And when you hear this song, and there's an adorable video that goes with it, peace is the word. And all the lyrics make sense in a way you've never seen it before. As a matter of fact, when Larissa Stowe, a dear friend of mine, saw this video, she said, wow, they've changed the words. And I told her, no, it's the exact lyrics from the song, but with peace. As a matter of fact, Larissa Stowe and Shakti Tribe are doing 2 songs, and they've recomposed the songs with incredible tweaks and new upgrades to the lyrics. And Elijah Ray and the Band of Light are upgrading some of the songs. And then we have incredible people and directors doing videos with such passion and heart and incredible graphics and really fun things, and showing so much of the heart and soul of what the harmonic convergence will be. You're all invited. Come join us for 10 days. And it will go 24 hours because they'll go for 11 hours and then loop it, where you can tune in to such high frequency and joy, magic and music And Scott, you've got a video for us.
Let's watch the video. This is a beautiful video that tells the story. Thank you, Maura, for all that you're doing.
From July 5th to 14th, a historic experiment is taking place around the world. A global meditation to invite peaceful extraterrestrials to show themselves with thousands of light ships across the sky. During this window in time, a planetary alignment will create an opportunity for us to unite and envision a bright future for our planet. This 10-day event will bring humanity together in this time of unprecedented change to rise up and unify. Indigenous cultures and prophecies have told us of star beings standing with us, ready to help and support our transition to a better future. The Harmonic Convergence 2020 will bring together elders, leaders, artists, and experts to guide us through a transformational journey. The last day will culminate in a global meditation to make contact with our universal family. The impact of this collective experience could usher in a new era of unity, love, and reverence for all life. It is time for us to step up and take action to shape the future of this planet. We are human, and we are not alone.
I want to thank you, Maura, so much. And those of us that put this show together, we have really rallied around this incredible event that's happening. Last week, I interviewed Mark Sims. I do a show called Interviews with Extraordinary People. And it has gotten more shares than any show that I've done in months. The only other person was when we had Andrew Harvey that got a similar level of people going, oh my God, you got to see this. I've had so many people reach out to me saying, my God, this guy's incredible. So I invite, you can all go back and watch the interview I did with him by going to the Love Coach Academy page on Facebook. Just click videos. And I'm bringing him back this Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to bring Mark back to answer more questions, talk more deeply about the harmonic convergence. And I'm going to, just briefly, I want to bring up the place where you can get all the information on it. So again, this is, you go to harmonicconvergence2020.org. There's 2 C's in there, harmonicconvergence2020.org. And I really want to encourage everybody to check it out. Get involved. It's going to be a really significant event happening in our world. And again, thank you, Maura, so much for everything you and your team are doing to create this and make it happen. It's very, very exciting.
And it's an amazing team. Thank you.
Absolutely. Hey, I think it's time for some more music. I mean, how can we follow up all the excitement? I think the only thing that we could do is to bring on some dynamic music. And we've got a new person with us. This is the first time that we've had Valerie Romanoff with us. So it's exciting. And Valerie she's all about how music has the power to heal, transform, evoke emotion by consciously, this is a quote from her, by consciously aligning with elements of music, we can affect deep changes in our world. Absolutely. So now to share the power of unity through music, I give you Valerie Romanoff.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so wonderful to be here. Scott, you took my lines. Music has the power to bring us together and to unite our world. Unity starts with the intentions and actions of each individual person and the vibrations that we send forth. Music helps us enter a peaceful state that connects our mind, body, and spirit. And it puts us into vibrational alignment with the universe. And from that place, we can awaken our inner divinity and in our higher consciousness. So let's take a few minutes to breathe deeply and align with the peaceful frequencies in the music. And find ourselves connecting with hum, this tone that represents the vibration of the whole universe that exists inside each and every one of us. It's the music of our soul. It's the frequency of energy that joins all things together. And as we add layers and rhythms and melodies and words on top, it's like the thoughts and stories and actions of our outer life. But the tone remains constant, keeping us connected to oneness, whether we're aware of it or not, all the time. This song, Lead with Love, has a simple message of love and unity and compassion. Almost every line is repeatable, so it's easy for you to sing along. And I invite you to sing and let the vibrations of the words rise up inside you and shine out into the world. People party. People party. It's a people party. It's a people party. Unity. Unity. You and me. You and me. We all want to be happy. We all want to be happy. And we all want to be loved. We all want to be loved. And we can make it together. We can make it together. If we lead with love, we all want to be loved. Open up your heart, let your love flow. Open up your heart, let your love flow. Now's the time to start. Let your light show. Now's the time to start. Let your light show. It's a people party. It's a people party. It's a people party. It's a people party. Unity. Unity. You and me. You and me. And we all want to be happy. We all want to be happy. We all want to be loved. We all want to be loved. And we can make it together. We can make it together. If we lead with love, we all want to be loved. And when it's time to get quiet and go inward, we can let go of all the stories of our outer life, let them go one by one, just like the parts of the music, the rhythms, bringing us closer to our true self, our higher nature, our inner divinity, until all that's left is that hum, that vibration, that pulse beat of the universe that exists within all living things, and that connects us to oneness, to each other, in peace, love, and unity. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Valerie. And you can learn a lot more about Valerie. She's going to come back and do one more song for us tonight. All of our musicians do 2 songs tonight, but you can also go to ValerieRomanoffMusic.com. Boy, I love those pants. All right. Thank you. And now to share, to introduce our next speaker, I'm going back to my partner, Deborah.
And we have Ben available. Is that true, Scott?
I am. I'm here.
All
Hi,
right.
Deborah.
So we have a special guest here tonight, and he has been working tremendously for several months, and especially the last 8 days, because he is one of the founders and producers of World Unity Week that has just taken place very successfully for the last 8 days. It was a virtual convergence of 200 participants from all over the world. Those are presenters and organizations all coming together to converge to help support unifying our world. And it wasn't just presentations. You could go into a chat room and be part of a convergence and converse and work things out with people. It was amazing what they did. So we're so happy to have Ben here. He's been doing this work forever, as far as I can see. He's been producing events, radio shows, and convergences all over the world. One of his first ones was he convened the first U-Day festival in Chiang Mai and in Thailand, and then that continued for several years. And he's done a lot of radio shows, and there's just so much on his resume. But his passion now is what he's created here. And so we're so happy he can come on and share with us exactly what happened during this massive worldwide convergence on unity. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you so much, Deborah. And Scott, it's great to be here. And it's great to see my friend Arnie Pat McCabe there in the room as well. Nice to see your smiling face. And yeah, there are 200 partner organizations that came together, global organizations, to really co-convene World Unity Week. It was extraordinary. Some of the biggest interfaith the biggest interfaith organizations in the world, like the Parliament of World's Religions, the United Religions Initiative had their 20th birthday. And together with our friends at Unify and Uplift and these big media groups as well. So bringing together, organizations right across the spectrum with music and dance and social justice. There was a lot of discussion about the current situation around the world with racial justice, as you can imagine, and also about how can we come together and really become the transformation that we're all yearning for. So very, very similar conversation to everything that's happening here on Saturday Night Alive. Great to be here. And what happened in World Unity Week was amazing because everybody was just all in. All these 200 different organizations, presentations that came, 8 days nonstop from the solstice blessings that went all the way around the world, starting here in Australia with the Aboriginal grandmothers and more than a day of solstice prayers right around the planet. Was absolutely exquisite and powerful and proper that it was the mid-year solstice. And after that, we then got into the programming, International Day of Yoga, September 21. There were so many different events, the launch of the Purpose Earth Fund. My goodness, so much has happened, Deborah. It's hard to take it all in. We just had our closing ceremony, and we're now set for the next 80 days from here to Peace Weekend. So all of this, what you talked about, Deborah, the whole global build-up all around the world, from the Holy Land in February, Ethiopia a couple of years ago, India last year, right across North America, Australia, all of it has been focusing on one moment. And that moment is the International Day of Peace 2020. And just like other visionary, like Barbara Marx Hubbard had been looking at that, focused on that date. Stephen Dinan wrote about it in his book. There was just this orientation date. I think Scott was talking about the harmonic convergence. Well, of course, it goes back to 1987. And then in 2012, so much got activated in December with the Mayan calendar thing that was ending. And same again as we get ready for the International Day of Peace in 2020, something big is coming down the line. And we've been walking towards it for many, many years. And we're now 80 days away. And World Unity Week was practice. It was training. It was convening. It was scaling up and getting ready for Peace Weekend 2020, which you can go to peaceweekend.com or peaceweekend.org and get connected and get involved. So we're carrying all of the momentum that we've got. All of the organizations that have come forward are now getting set to really show up on the planetary, on the world stage with a historic force in 80 days from now. 3 days to unite the world. Peace Weekend 2020. That's the whole purpose of everything we've been doing. And we'd love to partner with Saturday Night Alive and all of your family and all of the wonderful groups, the musicians and the visionaries, and let's just all do it together. That's the spirit.
Thank you so much, Ben. And absolutely, it's incredible how we're all coming together. And every week I just like to remind people that it really is like the caterpillar dying, the old paradigm dying, and we're the butterfly cells, we're the imaginal cells, and we find each other and we connect and we become the butterfly, the new paradigm, the new world. And it's happening on so many levels. It's very, very exciting. And to now tell us about our next speaker, turning it back over to Deborah.
And now we have a real treat. This is a beautiful woman, a beautiful spiritual teacher, Reverend Kamala Hayward. She actually began as her professional career as a consumer protection and public policy attorney. But then after 13 years of practice, she left law and went on an intensive spiritual quest. And she came to realize that all of suffering is rooted in a mistaken belief of separateness. And that the idea that you are separate from anyone or anything else is the most direct way to end suffering and is to heal that sense of separation. And that's really what we're talking about tonight in terms of unifying. So today she holds meetings, retreats, classes, spiritual groups, where she works with people one-on-one to heal that sense of separation in her soul. So we're so happy to have her here to share with us that deep spiritual place that we want to go to, where we feel whole and connected from the source. So thank you, Kamala. Please share with us your transmission.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Deborah, for that beautiful introduction. And my decision a decade ago to leave my career as a lawyer and to instead dedicate my life to spirituality and healing was based on my own personal awakening to our shared humanity, to the spiritual truth that we are one. But on the human level, this fundamental spiritual truth isn't being honored. And this is nothing new. Since its inception, this society has systematically oppressed and brutalized people of color. But to recognize the spiritual truth of our oneness without also acknowledging the lived reality of people of color in this society is to live in disunity. Fortunately, recent events have really begun to increase white people's awareness of the devastating consequences of systemic racism. And to create change, this awareness is essential, but it's not enough. Because if you're not actively dismantling systemic racism, you're going with the flow that the system put in place. And that's all systemic racism needs from you in order to keep thriving. Not overt, hateful bigots. All it needs are well-meaning people who are aware of the problem, but who aren't taking active steps to dismantle it. In other words, if you're not actively swimming against the current of systemic racism, you're upholding it. And this means if someone implicates you in racism and your only response is tears or disbelieving defensiveness, you're upholding it. If you think you're immune to racism because you're colorblind or you love or treat everyone the same, you're upholding it. If in discussions about racism, you shift the focus to what you believe is more important, like criticizing protesters' actions, if rather than acknowledging race or racism, you choose to retreat into the safety and comfort of denial, perhaps masking it as inner peace, you're upholding it. And so knowing this, the question for you really becomes, beyond meditating and praying and sending good thoughts and vibes, how can you as a spiritual practitioner, healer, leader, actively swim against the current of systemic racism? How can you dismantle it inside and also in society and bring the truth of our spiritual unity to the human experience? So here are 3 ways to get started. 1, get books about racism and anti-racism and read them, discuss them, do the exercises. As you look within, you may discover things that you don't like or feel ashamed about. So 2 is to use your spiritual and healing tools to hold yourself with love and compassion, and then keep going. And finally, as you do the work to dismantle systemic racism within and without, let go of any desire to do it perfectly. You won't. Not the first time, probably not the 101st time. So 3 is to expect to make mistakes and to feel uncomfortable a lot. That's part of the journey. Don't let it stop you. Listen to and learn from others who've been doing this work already, then keep going. Keep taking action toward true unity keep swimming against the current. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for listening. Peace.
Thank you so much, Kamala. Thank you. And actually, I'm going to pull up, there's a way that people can learn more about what you're doing. Here's your website. Tell us a little bit about kind of how people can reach out to you and the services you provide.
Thank you. Yes, I dropped a bit.ly link in that image, and that's the easiest way to get in touch with me. So that's bit.ly/contact Kamala, and the C and the K are both capitalized. It's a case sensitive link. And you can reach me there. And I work with groups, I work with individuals, and I help people come to the truth of who they truly are so that they can come to that place of full love, full acceptance, and then begin transforming the world from that place of really standing in who they are and in their power.
Thank you so much for being on our show, and I hope you'll come back soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You know, 2 weeks ago, we dedicated our entire Saturday Night Alive show to honoring Black voices. And I really invite people to go and watch our previous shows. If you missed that, there were so many beautiful speakers, many of whom I've had on my interview shows that I do through Love Coach Academy. And I would love to have you on one of our shows so people could spend more time with you, Kamala. I really like that.
Thank you. I would love that, Scott. Thank you.
So we are all about community and supporting and building, and sometimes it's big epic visions, and sometimes we're supporting individuals. And Ken Kaufman from the New Living Expo has been kind of our community outreach guy. He's been working with a lot of different nonprofit organizations. We're going to show you the nonprofits that we've supported in the past. And Ken, just want to hear a little bit about you, and then we'll show the video about Pachamama.
All right. Well, obviously, you know, I've been producing Whole Life New Living Expo and Whole Life Expo for 30 plus years. And now bringing this to this Saturday Night Live group is just another way of extending the great work that we do together. What we're doing tonight with Pachamama is we're going to be showing you a 3-minute video highlighting what work they've been doing in South America, and through so much devastation in the rainforest and so forth that we all heard about, their fires and so forth. We really need to do what we can collectively to try to put that to an end and stop big oil and all the other things that are destroying our human race, basically. And so we're going to show that video, and we're going to welcome John Perkins to talk a little bit about it afterwards. And that's good for now.
All right, here we go.
These are the Achuar people, an ancient dream culture, still living in harmony with their ancestral land. Nearly 5 million acres of pristine tropical rainforest in Ecuador and Peru.
Our people lived here undisturbed for thousands of years. Then our elders and shaman began to receive visions from our ancestors, warning that a menace was coming toward our people. We soon saw that danger, the destruction brought by oil companies to our neighbors to the north. It is Achuar tradition that we do not run from danger, but go towards it. So we reached out to seek support from people in the outside world.
In 1995, a call issued forth from the heart of the natural world that was heard thousands of miles away by a small group of people in the modern world. That summer, in a remote village in the rainforest, these two worlds came together, and the Pachamama Alliance was born.
Although we were called by the elders and shamans of the Achuar, something deeper had called us there, and we realized it was the spirit of life itself, the spirit of Mother Earth, what the indigenous people call Pachamama.
The Achuar appreciated that the Pachamama Alliance was working shoulder to shoulder with them to protect their land and culture. But they knew that this work in the rainforest was not enough.
From the very beginning, we recognized that the real threats to our land came not from the oil companies, but from the outside world itself. It is the modern world's dream of always wanting more and more that is causing the destruction of the forests. So we told our partners that to protect our lands permanently, they would need to work in their part of the world as well and change the dream that is threatening the rainforest and the future of all life.
And so the Pachamama Alliance boldly committed itself to a twofold mission: to preserve the land and culture of the Amazon rainforest and to change the dream of the modern world.
That's an amazing work that John Perkins and Lynn Twist and her husband have been doing for many, many years. So to tell us more about it, Deb, please bring on the next, or Scott.
I just want us to take a moment and take a breath. I've been connected to Pachamama Foundation for a long time. I've taught the Awakening the Dreamer course. We've had Lynn Twist on this show twice now. This is an amazing organization because it's not just white people helping the indigenous people. It's the awareness that we need the medicine, the wisdom of the indigenous people. We do need to change this dream. And how fascinating it is that Pachamama Foundation, which has been helping us to try and understand how we need to change, well, Mother Earth said, okay, I'm going to give you a little boost. And this thing called COVID happened. And we're all slowing down. The very thing that the wise elders down in Ecuador understand, we're now being forced to do. Stopping so much travel, stopping so much expansion, slowing down. The Pachamama Foundation has been on the forefront of this wisdom and this awareness for so long. So I'm really grateful that that's who we're going to be donating $1,000 to. And it's your support through the GoFundMe that makes that happen. I want to thank a lot of people who have already donated tonight. And if you've donated before, donate again. Because every week we're giving to individuals, organizations. You're going to take a look at some of the organizations later today that we've supported. Your support means so much, whether it's $5 or $500. It all really matters. Thank you. Thank you for being part of this incredible global community. Thank you for being you, each and every one of you. We're all butterfly cells coming together. And to tell us all about the amazing John Perkins, my partner, Deborah.
Yes, thank you so much for your donations. And you can donate by seeing the link in the chat room, our GoFundMe link, or you can just go to GoFundMe and type in Global Peace Tribe and you'll get the GoFundMe. And that's where you'll be able to donate to us. And then we're gonna fund Pachamama, which is so important at this time. It's not only the wisdom, all the work they've been doing, but they've been hit really hard during the COVID virus, the indigenous people. And also it's a consciousness that needs to come up to the surface, just like everything, the racism, everything else is coming up, that we need to honor and protect our indigenous people and do right by them. And so coming on now, I'm so happy to present a true new paradigm man who is a full spectrum man. John Perkins was a chief economist at a major international consulting firm, and he wrote the book, Confessions of an Economic Hitman. So he had the whole view of what's going on in our world on that level. But he's also goes a step further, and he founded Pachamama Alliance with Bill and Lynn Twist. So his heart is with Mama Gaia, with planet Earth, because he understands the connection of the whole Earth and the indigenous people to running the planet, as well as the financial system. And then he went a step deeper. He studied the shamans. So he's also a shaman teacher and has many books. He's just produced a book, Touching the Jaguar, that he's going to tell you about as well. So he's written many books. So so happy to have him come on and teach us a little bit more about Pachamama and about what's going on in the world today that he can teach us. So thank you, John, so much for being with us.
Thank you, Deborah, so much, and Scott, and everybody that's here tonight. What an amazing night. This is so beautiful. So I guess I wanted to start by addressing, you saw Luis Vargas, that's his Spanish name, who's the original president of the Achuar Federation, the Achuar Nation. He mentioned that when there's something that we fear, we don't run from it, we confront it. And so the title of this book, Touching the Jaguar, and incidentally, I'm constantly touching the Jaguar, comes from that. So I first heard that expression. I was a Peace Corps volunteer with the Shwa, who were the Achuar neighbors. And back in 1968, I went there for 3 years. And I was at one point dying. I was very sick. A shaman saved my life. And then he requested that I become his apprentice. I graduated from business school. I had no desire to be a shaman's apprentice in 1969, but he saved my life. And one of the most important things he taught me and how he saved my life was to teach me that our reality is molded by our perceptions. So when you think about it, there's no United States, there's no Canada, there's no religion, there's no culture except as we perceive these things. And when enough people accept a perception or codify it into law, it becomes reality. The Achuar, who were officially uncontacted, when I lived with the neighbors, the Shwa, back in the late 60s, they were at war with the Shwa. The Achuar, the Shwa, the Sapara, the Quechua, all these different tribes were at war with each other because they were hunters and gatherers and they had to defend their territory. They thought they had to defend their territory from their neighbors. That was their perception, that their neighbors were their enemies. But then the oil companies came in. The same time I arrived in Ecuador, 1968, Texaco arrived. And the indigenous people began to understand that they had to change their perception to alter their reality, that the enemy was no longer their neighbors. This is about unification, which is the theme of tonight's program. They understood that they had to come together with people who they'd been enemies with for hundreds, thousands of years. And so they formed federations to stand up against the oil companies and other mining companies. And then in a phenomenal step, amazing to think of these people who were uncontacted until the mid-70s, the Achuar understood that the real threat wasn't the oil companies. It was the perception of the people that buy oil and other minerals that are mined, us, the modern world. And this is what they knew they feared most. So once again, they had to touch their fear, and they call that touching the jaguar. The shaman told me that when you touch the jaguar, you identify the things that you fear, and you go out and you touch them. And when you touch them, you change your perception. And when you change your perception, you change your actions and you change reality. So they invited me. I was already spending a lot of time with their neighbors, the Shwa. I'd been in the Amazon since 1968. I was going back frequently. And they invited me to come in, and they pleaded, please help us confront that which we most fear, your people. Help us form a partnership. Amazing change of perception on their part. And so I'm the person who brought the message out in 1995 and went to Bill and Lynn Twist. And out of that grew the Pachamama Alliance, which is now in, I think, just about 90 countries with our Awakening the Dreamer program. Because what they said, the Achuar told us, you need to save these forests, to save life as we know it on this planet, we have to change the dream, the perception of the modern world. So if we change perception, we'll change reality. We have to move from a perception that corporations need to maximize short-term profits, regardless of the social and environmental costs, and individuals need to maximize our short-term consumer materialistic desires. We need to move to what the indigenous people, what most human beings throughout most of our 250,000 year history until the last blink of an eye have always known. And that is that we have to take care of the long term. We have to maximize long-term benefits. And so this whole picture of unity, that these people who had been enemies for hundreds and thousands of years, fierce battles with each other, in the blink of an eye, they changed their perception and changed their reality. They came together, they unified, and then They understood that they had to unify with the outside world, with us. It was a remarkable enlightenment on their part to come to us and then to say, we will help teach you how to really appreciate nature, our oneness with this planet, our connectedness with it. And so, I write about all of this in the book, Touching the Jaguar, Transforming Fear into Action to Change Your Life in the World. That's the subtitle. And that's what we're in the process of doing now. And the coronavirus is really pushing us in that direction. There's that book, there's that jaguar again. So I'm so appreciate being on here. Yeah, there's that jaguar. I love that jaguar. I so appreciate being on here. In fact, you know what? I've got a little jaguar here with me. She's an American kitten. She's 8 weeks old and she's adorable, but she's got all the markings of a jaguar and she lives with it, which is a constant reminder. And so again, I thank you for supporting what we do. And in the process, you're supporting the indigenous people who are the guardians of nature and really understand this idea about touching the jaguar, about identifying that which we fear, whether it's the coronavirus or climate change or whatever, identifying it, touching it, confronting it, not running from it, confronting it, changing our perceptions around it, looking at the long-term instead of the short-term profits, and then taking the actions necessary to create what we call today a life economy, to transform a death economy to a life economy, to move from a destructive system to one that in fact pays people to clean up pollution, regenerate destroyed environments, recycle new technologies. It's a long story, but this is the time that is so critical for all of us to make that happen. It's a remarkable time and we're all blessed to be alive at this time. And I feel blessed to be on this program with all of you guys. So thank you so much, Deborah and Scott and everybody here, Ken, for making this happen, for supporting the Pachamama Alliance. On behalf of the Pachamama Alliance, also, I thank you for your generosity in making that contribution. Many, many thanks.
Wow. Thank you so much, John. I've watched you on stage so many times. I've done the Jaguar meditation with you, and it's just such an honor to have you on our show.
Thank you.
And it's kind of, my dog, by the way, is very upset that the cat got attention. So he's like demanding a little equal time here. It's we have to unify the dogs and the cats, just like we're unifying all people, right?
Exactly.
Hey, it was really cool to see Clayton's comment. I don't know Clayton, but in the chat box, he talked about how he also has had a vision that from the people in the South coming to him and asking for him. And so, all of us hear the call in different ways. And I just want to acknowledge each and every one of you watching, listening to the call. At this time of this big quieting down, of this big global timeout, now is the time to listen to our call. And for some of us, the call is to get very active. And for some people, the call is to rest and to slow down. And I want to make it clear, I'm one of those active guys, but for the people that are getting the call to slow down and to rest, to go inside, that's just as important. And John, you and Lynn and Bill have really demonstrated a lifetime of listening to the call and changing your entire way of thinking, your business, your life, because you listen to that call. And I really want to thank you for being such a positive role model for all of us. And someone who lives listening to the call is my beloved brother Fantuzzi, who I've known for about 35 years. And this all started with Fantuzzi. Saturday Night Alive started with us doing a Fantuzzi concert. And brother Fantuzzi, if you can hear me, hopefully you can hear me. You're up, partner. There he is.
I can't, yeah.
Fantuzzi?
Yeah.
You're good.
Turn it up a little bit. Hey, family, thank you for having me. A new way of having unity is also connecting with our loved ones who are moving over to the other side and dropping the baggage of this body. Someone right in this home that I'm staying at just left us. And so many. So I want to dedicate this one to the movement of the Black Lives Matter, to our wonderful movement of waking up consciousness, connecting with our beings that are all over this universe. Though too close to touch our loved ones, my friends are far from gone. Go ahead, cry if you must, but don't hang on. Keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on, like Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King. Your love and your light keeps on keeping on. Keep on keeping on. Ooh, Naomi, keep on keeping on. Your love and your light keeps on keeping on. La 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 la, oh, la la la, hallelujah. La 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 la, la 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 la. Jose Arguellas, Timothy Leary, Leela, Ira and Ben Ramdas, still with us. And as the wind blows, oh, as the river flows, your love and your light, still with us. Keep on keeping on, Mahatma Gandhi. Keep on keeping on, he keeps on keeping on. Your love and your light keeps on keeping on. Martin Luther King, keep on keeping on. Ooh, keep on keeping on. Your love and your light keeps on keeping on. Abuelita, that's my grandma, all our ancestors. You know they're still with us. Think of someone you love and send them a little bit of that love. Connecting, they're still with us. Marching for peace and for positive change. Gathering in the name of the Most High to change the consciousness, to create a new dream. Yes, keep on keeping on. Ooh, keep on keeping on. Your love and your light keeps on keeping on. Keep on keeping on. Oh, keep on keeping on. Naomi, your love and your light keeps on keeping on.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, very much needed, this energy of our ancestors to help us through these tough times, you know. Mahatma Gandhi used to do a lot of fasting, and Martin Luther King was leading with peace in his heart, and the movement was peaceful. And that's what is needed, you know. And our little gathering of Rainbow for 48 years is not able to gather, but we're going to come on together online on the 5th, aren't we, Scott?
Yep, I'm just putting up right now a couple of photos about that. So on Sunday, July 5th, from 3 o'clock till 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, we're going to have a rainbow gathering online. We're going digital, everybody. We're having to do as much as we can digitally. Less travel, less pollution, but actually easier for people to connect. And so we miss the hugs, we miss the physical connection, but we still connect heart to heart. And Fantuzzi, tell us a little bit more, because you're one of the organizers of this now. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, most of you have probably heard of rainbow gatherings we've been gathering in the Cathedral of Nature, camping out, praying together for world peace, envisioning a new dream. And like the Black Panthers said in the old days, each one teach one. So each one help one. So that's what we're doing. We're helping each other over that bridge from the old world to the new. And we can't do it, though some people are not being responsible and are gathering in the woods, but they're very few. And we've sent them all kinds of protection stuff for them to be safe together. But most of us are home, and instead of missing out the opportunity of praying for world peace, we're going to do it on the 5th, and we're going to be sharing our hearts, our songs, and being together in the name of love.
Beautiful. Thank you, Brother Fantuzzi. We're going to hear another song from Fantuzzi a little later on tonight. And you know, how perfect that July 5th, when he and us and we are having this gathering, it's also the first day of the Harmonic Convergence 2020. So, you know, we're all getting the call. We're all getting the dates and the time and the call. It's pretty remarkable. And now it's time for our keynote speaker, and to introduce him, here's Deborah.
Yes, so we have a real treat tonight with Neale Donald Walsch, who's a modern day spiritual messenger. And you probably know him from his Conversations with God series, which I know when I got that book years ago, that was a really profound book that everyone got and everyone read, because it was a real transmission of the times for all our spiritual paths. And he's written many books. They've been translated to 37 languages, and he's still teaching. He does many virtual events on live programs, and he goes around the world, and he's with us today. And for this very important topic of unity, because I'm assuming God would say that we should stop this nonsense of feeling that we're all separate because we're a little bit different, and it's really time to unify. So we're really happy that Neale has chosen to be with us tonight. Thank you so much, Neale, and please share with us.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that wonderful introduction. I've come here tonight just to share with you what I think is the most important decision that any human being could possibly make. And it is a critical decision now, a decision that all of humanity is being invited to make individually. And so I'm glad I have the opportunity to share this moment with you tonight, because the decision is a question. And the question is, who am I? This is an extraordinarily important moment in human history, as I'm sure we can all see. We're seeing the movement of the energy into a creative force that's, in a sense, requiring us to make this decision. The question is, who am I? Am I a physical entity, essentially a physical being made up of, my mind and my body? Or am I a metaphysical entity, a spiritual entity made up of my body and my mind, and perhaps an aspect of myself that we would call, in my languaging, my soul or my spirit? This is not a small decision for us to have to make. This is a major decision because it dwells on and it focuses on our relationship with each other, with life, with ourselves, and with that aspect of life that I like to call God. As you know, I wrote a book called Conversations with God, in which I was invited to make this very important decision. That I was invited to answer the question, who am I? And I decided that, in fact, who I am is more than just my body and my mind. That I am, in fact, a spiritual entity that has a body and a mind, and that rearranged my entire cosmology with regard to what I'm doing here, why I'm on the earth, what I'm up to, and why would a spiritual entity that has no limitation of any kind decide to move into this physical experience that we're now having here on earth? Why would I do that? And the answer is to serve the agenda of the soul. The answer, as I've come to understand it, is to serve the agenda of the soul. And the agenda of the soul is for us to self-realize, that is, for us to know at a spiritual level, at a physical level, and at a mental level, who we really are. That is, if I could put it in theological terms, An idea I have is that there is a higher power. I have this thought that there's a thing called God. That's just my cosmology. In my cosmology, there is this higher power. And the desire of this higher power is to know itself through the expression and the experience of all of its creations. That includes you and that includes me. And that we are really all one. The primary message of the higher power is that we are all one. And the challenge that we're facing and have been facing now for thousands of years on this planet is we think that we're separate. We've actually created even a separation theology that says that God's up there and we're down here. And, you know, that's okay if people want to really believe that. I have no problem with what people believe. But what I do notice is that there's a complication because a separation theology inevitably produces a separation cosmology. That is a cosmological holding of life as a series of separate entities that interact with each other, but that are not profoundly connected in any particular physical or spiritual way. And the problem with a separation cosmology is that it inevitably produces a separation psychology, that is, individual psychologies that cause us to experience ourselves as alone in the world, moving through life with other people, but essentially separated from them. And the problem with a separation psychology is that it inevitably produces a separation sociology, entire societies that imagine themselves to be separate from each other. We call these societies nations. We call them political parties. We call them races. We call them religions. We form these little social groups, if you please. But the problem with a separation sociology is that it inevitably produces a separation pathology. Pathological behaviors of self-destruction. And that's what we're seeing all over the world and have been since the beginning of recorded history. Do you know that in all of recorded history that we have been at war with each other someplace on this planet 92% of the time? From the time we began recording our history. So this is not a small decision for us to make. Because this idea that we are separate from each other is what has caused us to create a sense of alienation on this planet. And that's what we're facing today, right now. I've never seen, you know, I have to tell you, I'm 76 years old. I've never seen this level of alienation on the planet that I'm seeing right now. Yes, there are groups that are working hard to bring us together, but I've never seen such political, economic, social, and even spiritual alienation as I'm seeing right now on the planet. That's why I'm so excited to be here with you tonight and why I'm so inspired by the work that's being done in this program and by all the people who have been on this program so far. Because I see that people are in fact starting to work together to bring us together that we can know the essential truth of life, which I was told, by the way, on page 1 of the 4,000 pages of the Conversations with God dialogue. On page 1, it said to me, all I need to know. God said to me, Neale, this is all you need to know. I can give it to you in 4 words, and everything else is an enlargement of that idea. The 4 words, we are all one. We are all one. What would it take for us to decide that that, in fact, is the fundamental truth of life? If I am a spiritual being and not just a physical entity, you know, if I'm different from a dolphin or a whale or a bird in the sky or a fish in the sea, if I'm in fact a spiritual entity, the question becomes, where does my soul end and where does yours begin? I asked God that question. If I really am a spiritual entity, where does my soul end and where does your soul begin? And the answer that I got was, there is no end and there is no beginning. That in fact, there is no separation of any kind. So the real question before humanity at this point in time is, how can we activate our understanding of all of that? Because I know that I'm not bringing anything new to you. Most of you who are watching this program already are way ahead of all of us on this. This isn't like, oh my goodness, I never thought of an idea like that. You're all already right there, conceptually. But what would it take for us to be there functionally, politically, economically, socially, spiritually? That becomes our question for the day. How can we take what we already understand to be true and what many of us feel interiorly to be true? How can we take that out into our daily lives, into our interactive experience, and into the world at large, and make it our functional reality? And the answer is we can't, unless we can, unless you join with all of us in becoming that agent for change that you've been hearing everyone talk about, each in their own articulation, each in their own way, but we're all bringing the same message. What can each of us do individually in order to be an agent for that kind of miraculous change on the earth? You heard about the Pachamama. You heard that whole experience about they changed their whole cultural story. That's what's needed now, as we've been saying for the past half hour, on the planet at large. An alteration, a rewriting of our cultural story. And that's a global enterprise, but it's begun in your home, in your life, in your day-to-day, in your hour-to-hour, in your minute-to-minute experience. If you choose to move through your life and be a demonstration, a model, if you will, an exemplar of the idea and of the understanding that there is no separation between us, but that in fact we are all one. If you will take that as your commitment from this evening, from this moment, from this tiny segment of our day-long, evening-long program together, if you can just hear that invitation and say, you know, I'm there. I'm there. I'm going to make sure that everything that I think and say and do is a demonstration of my awareness that there's no separation between us. That what's true for you is true for me. That who you are, I am. That what I do for you, I do for me. And that what I fail to do for you, I fail to do for me. You know, if everybody within the sound of my voice right now decided to act that way beginning tomorrow morning and for the rest of our lives, we could change the world virtually overnight. But it's going to take an enormous commitment. It's going to take a deep level of understanding. And it's going to take a promise that we each make to ourselves and to each other. I'm there. We are all one. Thank you for allowing me to share this somewhat predictable, but no less important message this evening. That's the whole point of the program you've been watching on this wonderful telecast. So let's go there. Let's be there. And then let's stay there so that our whole life can be a conversation with God.
Oh, thank you so much, Neale. And I'd like to invite, we've got about 350 people in our Zoom room and thousands watching on Facebook. I'd like to invite everybody to put into the chat box one thing you're going to do. You know, Neale just did a real call for action. And, you know, it's beautiful to meditate and to gather together, but let's listen to Neale's call to action. So Neale, what would you like for each person to write in the chat box? Their call to action.
Here is one, just as you said, here is one thing I intend to do in the next 24 hours, and then to repeat in various permutation and variations of it. Maybe it's just a thing you say. Maybe it's something you functionally do in the world. Maybe it's just something you feel. By the way, everything is vibration. Even how you feel is a vibration. Maybe you decide that I'm going to feel differently, not just about those who I call my dearest friends and those who I agree with, but can we follow the example of the great teachers of the world? Love, 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 even your enemies, even those who you think are persecuting you, even those who you think are the problem. Can we find a way and decide tomorrow, this is the one thing I'm going to do or say? I dare you tomorrow, as an example, to write an email to the political leader in the world, no names mentioned, just somebody in the world with whom you politically disagree, maybe even vehemently disagree. I dare you to write an email to that person and say, no, I know deep down inside, there's a part of you that's connected with me, that we are in fact all one. I know there's a place where we can share our common love of this life, our common love of this world, our common love of what we call God, if you believe in a God, and our common love of each other as part of humanity. Dare you to send your love, your caring, your presence as an aspect of one to a person with whom you do not fundamentally agree. That's how we'll come together, when we can find common ground. We don't have to approve of or condone the actions and the decisions and the choices of the other, but we can say to them, I'm with you in our common human journey. Let us journey together and find our way to each other. That's what I would invite you to do tomorrow. Make that your choice tomorrow. Who am I going to send that email to? I already have somebody in mind for mine.
Oh, beautiful. And I'm teary-eyed reading all the different things that are coming on, all the different people that are sharing, sending love, people talking about, I'm going to go down to the water, I'm going to pray, I'm going to write that letter to someone that I've been disconnected to. It's really beautiful what people are putting into the chat box. So thank you, Neale, for that beautiful call to action. And to give all of you a minute to put in your chat, I'm going to just read some of the people that have donated, because we've been receiving a lot of donations today. So I'm going to go to where I can read it easily. Wow. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to try and get everybody's name correct. Thank you, Lise, Ilona, Leilani, B.A., Stan, Anonymous, Denise, Marjorie, Lindsay, MS, Tioe, Christy, our good friend Christy Michaels, Chong, Francine, Lori. Thank you all for your donations. Thank you very, very much for that. And while you're still putting in the chat box your visions, your call to action, and thinking about who you're going to write that letter to tomorrow, or that email to, we're going to play briefly a video, because when we talk about the GoFundMe, really, probably this show would not have been able to continue if it were not for the tremendous support that we've received from Jay Mayer. Where's Jay? Oh, Jay's got his camera off. There he is. He turned it back on. Jay has donated thousands to the GoFundMe campaign. He's been one of our sponsors of the show. We didn't start having sponsors until a few weeks ago. And Jay has really made this show happen for us. So thank you, Jay. And just to tell you a little bit about Jay and the support he's doing with his light touch and how he supports Love Coach Academy, here's a very short video. The Love Coach Academy is a collective of heart-based individuals. We've helped thousands around the world to overcome challenges and to have greater relationships through understanding each other. We combine the wisdom of Marshall Rosenberg, founder of Nonviolent Communication, with emotional intelligence skill building, creating tools to change our neural pathways, which allow us to go from reptile brain reactivity into frontal lobe responsiveness. Under the leadership of Scott Katamas and his core group of coaches, we are excited to announce our new partnership with Jay Mayer and Light Touch. We are adding his techniques to tool belts. Please join our upcoming free online webinars, giving you the support to thrive. Love Coach Academy, with the support of Jay, is providing 2 or 3 free online webinars every day, offering people relationship support, and also bringing people like Mark Sims and some of the speakers. In fact, hopefully a lot of the speakers you've seen tonight will be coming on to some of the Love Coach Academy shows where we have more time to hear from them. Also really want to thank again New Realities TV and also Awake TV that carry all of our shows. Awake TV is a wonderful new network. They launched 6 or 7 months ago, and they carry Saturday Night Live every week. They're going to be carrying a lot of the Love Coach Academy shows, and they have all sorts of incredible shows with a lot of your favorite speakers, including a brand new show with Deepak Chopra, who was one of our guests a couple of weeks ago. So we really appreciate all of our sponsors. We appreciate you who are contributing to the GoFundMe. And I'm now going to turn it over to Deborah.
Yes, thank you all of you who are donating now. It's really going to help us produce shows for the summer because I think we're planning to come back for the summer. We are going to take a break July 4th, but we are going to have a special edition show on July 11th that is going to be all about the harmonic convergence in the process of it. So it's going to be pretty amazing. And so I want to thank you all for making this possible because your donations and the sponsorship does help. And I want to let you know that we do send out the replays to everyone that signed up on Zoom on Monday, and you can share the replays with everyone. And if you want to get to the replays of our other 13 shows, you can go to Deborah Recommends under Saturday Night Live, and I'll put that link in the chat box shortly after this. And I want to share also that if you stick around to the end, we're going to have community connections where you can come on and give a 1-minute heart transmission of about the show, what's happening in the world, or whatever you want to share. And also, I want to share something very special with you. I've published a book. It's on an ebook that you can get for free, and it's now also on Amazon. It's something that's very close to my heart. It's called Activate Your Soul Tribe, because that's what I've done pretty much my whole life. I produced the Harmony Festival from 1978 to 2011, and that was a big activation of the soul tribe to come together and discover who we are. And my book shares you how to define and call in your soul tribe and work with them, as well as your soul family, which is your immediate connections, your immediate relationships, your beloveds, your family, your allies that you do businesses with. And it teaches you how to recognize the soul contracts, which are the agreements that we come into this life with that get ignited at certain times in your life, such as me and Scott coming together to produce this show for you was an activation of a soul contract we probably wrote before we came in, because we said during the COVID, we want to do something really special because it's been such a natural combination of us working together and giving this to you. So the book allows you to understand how soul tribe, soul family, and soul contracts work. So I'll put the link where you can get the free ebook, or just go on to Amazon and it's Activate Your Soul Tribe. So I've just published it, so wanted to share it with you. And also, again, thank you for your donations. What we're doing here is utilizing the new paradigm principles on all levels, unity, coming together, but also the gifting economy, is, if you've noticed, is a new paradigm philosophy, which means we're doing this show and we're gifting it to you. And that energy can come back to us in whatever way you want to give back to us at whatever level. We're going to take that green love energy that you give to us, and we're going to give it back to an important nonprofit organization like this week, Pachamama, who is doing so much good for the world. And they in turn are going to help heal the planet, heal the indigenous, which again is going to come back to you. So this gifting economy continues to flow and ripple out. So we appreciate so much any amount you can donate, and it will also help us produce shows for the summer, which we think we're going to do and we hope we're going to do. And with your support, that will help a lot. So we put the GoFundMe link in the chat room. And also you can just go to GoFundMe and type in Global Peace Tribe, and you will see that.
Thank you.
Also, if you want to sign up to be on Zoom in the future, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Awake TV, on other channels, and you want to work with us closely and be on Zoom, and then you can get the replays and you can participate in the chat, you can go to, just type in Global Peace Tribe search engine and you'll get directly to our events page, which is on deborahrecommends.com. And that will show you how to sign up and be with us for the future. And we'll be in touch with you and we'll send you the replays and you can play with us on Zoom and in the chat room. So again, thank you so much for being with us, contributing, for sharing all your ideas and contributions and your green love. Thank you. And Ken or Scott, you're going to share a little bit more about all the nonprofit organizations that we've donated to this season, which has been amazing. It blows me away what we've been able to do.
Now, this is every one of these organizations received $1,000, and that came from you. And Essential Food and Medicine in the East Bay, People's Community Medics, Meals on Wheels in San Francisco, the Healing Clinic Collective, and all these organizations are community oriented, mostly San Francisco Bay Area, because that's where most of us are located. But our show is becoming more and more national and more global. We supported the Sonoma Food Runners, and we really recognized the importance of election integrity when we had Lori Grace, one of our most important community members, on talking about that and her organization, trustvote.org. We supported Growing Together, which helps create green schools and neighborhoods. The Fraternite Notre Dame, beautiful, beautiful organization. And then we also realized that there are people in our community that we love that are dealing with life-threatening disease. So we gave $1,000 to Blaine Lyon, who's battling stage 4 cancer. Mariela de la Paz, stage 3 breast cancer. Recently, we supported Dream Corps, an amazing organization founded by Van Jones. Last week, we supported the John Anthony Foundation, which creates tiny homes supporting housing for homeless women and youth 18 and older. And of course, tonight, we're supporting the Pachamama Alliance. $1,000 to every one of these organizations. And that all comes through you, through the GoFundMe. And I'm just really grateful to see that more and more people, as we're talking, are supporting the GoFundMe. And to tell us just a little bit more about it, I'm going to turn over to our community outreach guy, the irrepressible New Living Expo master.
Yeah,
thanks. Let's build a vision for New Living Expo happening in October. That's all about vision.
We're going to hold that vision and keep our fingers crossed at the same time. With have to be in stage 4 to open up for that aspect, but we're being positive. Also about the GoFundMe campaign is that we're offering gifts when you donate $77 or more. Email me, Ken at New Living Expo, and we'll send you either tickets to the expo or a one-on-one love coach session with Scott's organization. You'll either get him or you get one of the love coaches. And just mentioning that we have been doing this for 3 months, and in 3 months, we have helped so many organizations, and with your help, we couldn't do it without you, and you keep making us and keeping us being able to do this, and without you, we couldn't do it. So, you know, you're helping us help the world, and each organization is so appreciative of the work that we're giving them, and they're supporting all their communities. So thank you from the bottom of my heart that you're making it happen. And without you, it's just making it happen, and just send out the love and keep it going, guys, because that's what we're all about. Let's see, is there anything else I missed? Bonuses?
I think we're good, Ken.
Okay, good.
And this is all about building community. We're building community, and look at all the new people we're meeting. You know, one of the things that's really cool about working with Deborah, she knows all these people, and she's always tracking all the shows and the festivals, and and so some of the people we brought on I've known for 30 years, but I had never even heard of Indubious, and man, I am their new fan, and I'm so grateful that we get to have another song from these two beautiful brothers. Take it away, Indubious.
Hey,
thank y'all.
Thanks for having us.
We were having a whole lot of fun playing to the Love Coach theme song.
Yeah, we were playing along. That was smooth. And Neale Donald Walsch brought it in with the real correct vibration. That's actually what this next song is about. It's about that we are one. We are the fabric of love. And when we generate this this vibration in our hearts of love and peace and purity and goodness and just gratitude, that's what we start to see reflected back to us in our physical reality.
Yep,
so we hold
tapestry.
that frame.
Yes, sir.
And we're weaving the fabric of love here together right now with you, all your hearts and minds united with ours. So grateful for the co-creation.
Of creation, we're creation. Where we are the healing of the nation. Yeah, we come to tell the monster. We are the fabric of creation. We're creation. Where we are the healing of the nation. Yeah. We split apart, memories are wiped clean. Fresh you start, but we remembering just who we are and who we can to be. Brightest star, imperfect, perfect, and so yes, I know I'm strong. Inside we got what it takes to get along. I said, yes, I know I'm strong, and we belong. See, we belong. Yes, I know I'm strong. Inside we got what it takes to get along. I said, yes, I know I'm strong, and we belong. See, we belong. We are the fabric of creation. We're creation. Well, we are the healing of the nation. Yeah, we come to the mountain. We are the fabric of creation. We're creation. Well, we are the healing of the nation. Yeah. We coming in and out of the code. I go to work, says I'm medicine for resist soul. I'll tell you about again where we'll all body the code. We'll do the medicine. You when we do our best, put you to the test. Yeah, we coming in and out of the code. I go to work, says I'm medicine for resist soul. I'll tell you about again where we'll all body the code. We'll do the medicine. You when we do our best, put you to the test. Yeah. Whoa, whoa, yeah, yeah. This why we're coming down that line. Well, now you're feeling it divine. Oh, we'll do the best you can. We'll do the best you can. In every situation, do the best you can. We'll do the best you can. We'll do the best you can. In every situation, do the best you can. We'll do the best you can. We'll do the best you can. Every situation, do the best you can. We'll do the best you can. We'll do the best you can. In every situation, do your best. Well, we are powerful. We are mighty and strong. We are the factions for the most high. Watch it when we focus. We can tear down the wall, stand strong. Positivity conquer, or we don't stop. Because the vibes on top. In 111, we look out for that Lord. Not just we step out and we shall not one. Come and bring love and do the best that you can. We'll do the best you can. We'll do the best you can. In every situation, do the best you can. We'll do the best you can. We'll do the best you can. Every situation, do the best you can. We'll do the best you can. We'll do the best you can. Every situation, do the best you can. We'll do the best you can. We'll do the best you can. In every situation, do the best. Why don't you let it in? Let your chakra spin well. Fire within, give you purpose to begin. You are magic and beauty and God from within. Powers and nature guiding every step on every single green. You got gold in your soul and you release all control. The guidance of ancients to achieve your every goal. It's life, it is a chance for us to learn just how to give, because illusion is separation is irrelevant. Say we copied it out in the code. I go to work, is a medicine for the restless soul. I better begin well. Up out of the code, we go to medicine. You and we do our best, put you to the test. Do the best you can, we'll do the best you can. Every situation, do the best you can. We'll do the best you can, we'll do the best you can. Every situation, do the best you can. We'll do the best you can. Do the best you can. In every situation, do the best you can. We'll do the best you can. We'll do the best you can. In every situation, do your best. All life situations make us brave to grow. All life confrontations give us strength to know just what we are. Rising star, lead with your heart for the good of all.
Thank you, beautiful ones, for having us.
Oh, you guys, well, you definitely did the best you can.
So we did our best, you know, nothing else.
Hey, I've just pulled up their website. It's Indubious Music.
That's it, man.
Man, look at this website. I mean,
it's happening.
It's
you
popping.
guys are amazing. And look at this #1 reggae album on Billboard.
Yes,
yes, we did that. Yes, we got another really fresh album coming up with a lot of awesome guests. We also run a really awesome podcast called Living Indubiously.
Yeah, we just started it and it's going really good. So the Living Indubiously podcast, if you guys are hip to the podcast scene, come check it out. We got some magical, mystical, mysterious, magnificent stuff going on there.
Yep. Apple Podcast and Spotify.
All right. Hey, you guys, thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful.
Blessings.
Love you all.
Whew. Wow, that's a pretty tough act to follow, I gotta say. You know, again, really want to thank the sponsors of our shows, and I really want to invite everybody to join me on Tuesday night at 6 p.m. When I'm going to be interviewing Mark Sims. This guy is really onto something powerful, and he's really something. And then our other sponsor for tonight's show is Jay Mayer. And you saw a little bit about Light Touch. And this is another video, it's a short one, that just tells us a little bit more about Light Touch. And then Jay's going to do a wisdom jewel about unity. Here we go. Light Touch is a beautiful, simple, and very effective way of bringing more love and joy into our life. Developed by Jay Mayer, these simple techniques of loving touch, affirmations, gratitude, help us to connect into ourselves, to each other, and to all of life. See the beauty in all. See the divinity within yourself. Enjoy this magnificent life, the many senses, our opportunities to grow and to evolve. Thank you for the miracles. Thank you for the blessings. Thank you for Light Touch. And again, we can go to light-touchme.com. That's where you can find out a lot more about it. To hear a little bit more about it right now, I'm going to put the spotlight, I'm going to take it off Indubious, put the spotlight on Jay Mayer. Thank you, Jay, for all the support you've given us and just your blessings to this world. And tell us a little bit about what you want to say about unity and Light Touch.
Well, the goal of Light Touch, and this is a pretty ambitious goal, is to end war on the planet. And I believe that if you heal enough marriages, if men and women are in harmony and they're in love with each other, there's less strife and less conflict and less suffering on the planet. So that's my goal, working with Scott and Love Coach Academy, is to heal marriages. And it's a very important thing for us to love one another. You know, all the prophets, they've all said that, and it starts in the home. It starts with our family. So any kindness, you know, between couples really helps. And if you need tools, call Love Coach Academy or find them through Light Touch website, which I'm sure they'll put a link out. And we're here to serve. And the other thing for world unity is that we all need to pray together, the whole planet, every person on the planet praying at the same time. And not just once, you know, it's every day. You know, we'll say at 8 o'clock at night, and I'm going to actively work towards this. I'm going to contact all the major religions and people at Unify and World Unity Week and everywhere. And, you know, we really need to take charge of this planet. It's going to happen with one voice when we call for peace on earth. We're going to experience it. And I think that there is a divine calling, you know, for us to bring forth world peace. And we're going to do it collectively. And we can't wait for our government. You know, we have to do it now.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jay. And I'm going to pull up Jay's website where you can get a lot more information. And again, it's at light-touch.me, light-touch.me. It's all about healing relationships. And, you know, Jay mentioned marriages, and we just want to acknowledge that both Light Touch and Love Coach Academy are sex positive. So we support marriages, same-sex marriages, as well as marriages of men and women. So anyway, you can learn more about going to Light Touch Me. And thank you. And now to introduce Ava and our evening meditation, here's Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. And one of the most important things that we do during the show, and we've done it from the very beginning. Our first show was the Mass Meditation for Peace, which over 1 million people meditated all over the world, is our meditation that we do. And we've invited Ava Parks back. She was with us during the show Honoring Black Voices, which is one of our most amazing shows. And she's a spiritual guide. She has a foundation, the Museum of Women, which is in Irvine, California, that's for inspiring women to greatness. She's the founder and priestess of the Goddess Temple of Orange County, and she's the author of the Queen Teachings for Women. And we've asked her to come back and share a little bit about unity and lead us in a meditation, which can be for unifying us in spirit and of the heart. So thank you, Ava, so much for coming back. Ava Parks.
What a great pleasure to be with you. And thank you, Scott. And thank you, Deborah, for doing this amazing work of pulling all this together so we can enjoy it. I have so loved hearing all the voices this evening. John talking about changing perception, Kamala talking about, she said some so important things about active work. You can't just peace out and not do anything, or you're part of the problem. David carrying the torch of peace as one. I thought that was really beautiful. And the music, in Dubious, We Are Infinite, and Valerie and Fantuzzi. I have just, the music really adds to the joy of the whole thing. And Neale talking about who am I? You know, I think we can agree that we are one. That is a concept that most of us who would be listening to this would get and would appreciate. I have a few friends who say, oh, Ava, you and your, oneness thing, that is so impractical. In fact, somebody just today was saying to me, how can I be one with Trump? And she's not a fan. And she said, I can't possibly think of myself as one with him. I am not that rotten. I'm not that evil. And so I liken it to when you talk about that, when you talk about oneness, it doesn't mean that you have no boundaries on the human level. We are living on the human level. And if we identify with only that, then we will live that paradigm. And that's a very limited paradigm. And we will live if we say, I'm a Black man, or I'm a white woman, or I am short, or I am tall, or I am healthy, or I am sick, whatever it is, I am rich, I am poor. If we identify too strongly with some very narrow identity, then we must live. We are putting ourselves in a box, and we must live only from that. We can live only from that paradigm. That morphogenetic field contains only so much information for that identity, and you can't access any more if you're going to say that's all you are. And so I like to say we cannot deny the pain of what is going on. We cannot deny that there are people of color and white people. We cannot deny that there are men and women having issues. We cannot deny any of these things, but we do not have to live from the paradigm that that's all we are. Privately, internally, we can live from the paradigm of I am all that is, all that ever has been, and all that ever will be. And if we live from that paradigm, then we open ourselves up, I believe, to the magic of the universe, for all the possibilities, instead of just that tiny little identity. And so how do we feel like we are one with somebody we really strongly disagree with? And I liken it to the body. The body is one. But on the human level, the body can become ill, can become sick. You can get an infection in your hand, for example. Something is wrong, something is sick. That happens at the human level. And what would you do if you had gangrene in your hand? Would you do nothing? Would you just let that, oh, we're all one, just let that gangrene run up your arm and then eventually through your whole body and kill you? No, on the human level, we must have healthy, good, loving boundaries, while still recognizing that at the macro level, we are truly one. So the body is one, but if I'm getting gangrene, then I might have to cut my hand off in order to save the whole body. And that's a boundary. We might have to hold certain types of boundaries on the human level, so that the overall body can be healthy. And when you cut your hand, when you have your hand cut off because it has gangrene, you're not angry with your hand, you're not hating your hand. You're simply saying, well, this is what has to happen right now at this level, but I am still one with everything. And so I like to look at it that way. And in that way, I'm not a fan of Trump either, but in that way, I can see myself as one with him. I disagree with his actions. I disagree with the way he is walking in the world, but it doesn't mean that I'm not one with him. So if you're willing, take a breath and let your eyes fall closed. And let's move into our meditation. You are walking down a busy street, the hustle and bustle all around you, a rainbow of humanity in beautiful diversity. And you're walking peacefully, and suddenly you notice off to the side a mysterious but inviting stairway going down, and it interests you. Something is there for you. So you put a foot on the stairs, you catch a faint fragrance of a garden, and you see a beautiful light down below. No one else is on the stairs, Taking another step down. The light grows brighter from below, the scent more intense. You feel relaxed and peaceful and calm and curious. Taking another step down. With every step down, you feel stronger, more connected, more vibrant in your body, more clear. Another step down, more aware, more joyful, almost down to the last step. A beautiful rose garden is laid out before you, and the heavenly fragrance wafts by you. A beautiful priestess appears and beckons you forward, and she smiles and she speaks. And she says to you, you are in the rose garden of Goddess. Rose, R for reverence for life and honoring she who brings life to this plane. O for oneness, all is one, there's only one of us. S for sacred, nothing is left out, all is sacred, from the tiniest nematode to the greatest nebula. Everything is sacred. All is sacred. And E, eternal, nothing ever dies. It just changes form, arising and subsiding and arising again in the great dance of creation. And the priestess completes and departs, leaving you to walk the garden paths in peace. And this particular bush calls you. Oh, this fragrance, so magnetic, so compelling, so exquisite. And you lean forward to inhale the bliss, and some part of you maybe wants to take a stem, but you hesitate. And then you realize the truth. This rose, this fragrance is already inside your heart, ever blooming, ever sending out its fragrance, its signature of the rose, reverence for all life. All is one, all is sacred, all is eternal. And you feel joyful knowing that this rose is always alive and perfect inside you, always available, always releasing its sacred fragrance of beauty and love for you. And it is now time to depart, and you will walk on, and the power of the wisdom of the rose you take with you now, wherever you go. So you wave goodbye to the priestess and you mount the steps, going up. You're feeling stronger than ever before. Up another step, powerful and vibrant. Another step up, ready to meet whatever this dimension has in store for you. The rose is within you, supporting you. Arriving at the top of the steps, you move out peacefully into the busy city street once again, aware of the rose in your heart, enlivening you, calming you. The blissful fragrance moves outward from your body, wafting into the air around you, and each passerby involuntarily inhales your wisdom of oneness, your knowing that all is sacred, all is eternal, all is to be held in reverence, and they are changed. Without speaking a word, you walk, affecting each person you pass. You will walk through the world in this way for the rest of your days. You will offer the fragrance of your rose to each person you meet. And without a word, you will transmit to them truth. You will give to them the gift of your rose. Blessed be. And breathing, allowing yourself a moment to absorb whatever is true for you, whatever is helpful for you, letting the rest float on by like clouds, allowing yourself to come back to yourself, wiggling your fingers and toes. You are here, you are here, you are here. Blessed be.
Oh, thank you so much, Ava. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Big twinkling. It was beautiful. We're about to hear from Brother Fantuzzi. But before we do that, I want to thank a lot of people. I want to thank Denise, Carol, Lorraine, Magdalene, Darlene, Morgine, Lorna, Sharon, Lakiba, Janet, David, and Lise. Thank you all for your generous donations to our GoFundMe. It's really beautiful to see how many people are contributing tonight. Thank you so much. And Brother Fantuzzi, we're ready for you, although it appears that your camera is off. You were on a moment ago. So I need you to turn on your camera, brother, so we can, there you are, okay.
Time for go?
It's all yours, brother.
Well, family, I'm honored to have another moment with you all, and everybody is so incredible always on this show, and you're all invited to be part of our thing on the 5th. If anybody was wishing to share, we would be honored to host you. The Rainbow family is anybody who has a belly button, you're in. And I guess even if you don't have a belly button, you could be from another planet, you're still in your family. This song I'm going to sing to you is called One Earth, One People. You got to imagine a bunch of horns going. Bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Oh, yeah. Ba-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, Lord, oh, Lord, oh, Lord. Ba-da-da-da, ba-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Love you, love you. Ba-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. One word, one word. Da-da-da-da. Ba-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, no matter what religion you are, race, color, or creed, we must learn to live together for us to succeed. Now the world is ready, I pray, a brand new day in a new way. Come with solutions and let's all agree the new way and stand up and be counted. Come on, stand up and be counted. Stand up, woo, and be counted. One earth, one people. Stand up and be counted. Come on, stand up and be counted. And be counted, cause we are all one people. Come now, people, and don't hesitate. Respect is due for what Jah create. Life is a blessing to celebrate. If we could get this to the head of the state, a situation would then be great. If you don't watch out, there'll be no more world. No more dancing boys and little girls. No more creatures and no more trees. That's why we ask for a nuclear freeze and unity with the family. Cause we are all one people. All one people. So stand up and be counted. Come on, stand up and be counted. Stand up and be counted. One earth, one people. Stand up and be counted. Come on, stand up and be counted. Stand up and be counted. We're all one people. Thank you so much, family, for all you do to make this world more beautiful. For all the children to come, I thank thee. And for all the ancestors too. Cause we came to do what we came to do. No time to hesitate. You got to feel free. Hallelujah. Om Namah Shivaya. So stand up and be counted. Come on, stand up and be counted. Stand up and be counted. One earth, one people. Stand up, woo, and be counted. Come on, stand Stand up and be counted. Stand up and be counted, 'cause we are all one people. Black and white, let's unite. Stop all the fighting and unite. Rich and poor, you know why you came here for. So stand up, work together. We got this. Something like that.
Thank you, Fantuzzi. Hey, I want to just let everybody know that there's another very important GoFundMe, and that's for Fantuzzi's healing. As I've said a couple times tonight, this whole show began with Fantuzzi doing a benefit concert for himself to raise money about 3 months ago, and so many people enjoyed it. It was a Saturday night. They said, hey, let's do it again. And then the global meditation was happening, and the next thing you knew, this show has grown and grown and grown. But it all started with Brother Fantuzzi, who's as vibrant and vital as he is in his music, and all these decades he's been really providing so much love for us, so much beautiful music. But he's dealing with a health challenge, and it's a big one. And he's doing good with our support, but let's continue to give support. So it's GoFundMe, Fantuzzi Miracle Healing. We want Fantuzzi to be around for decades more.
God's wanting, I'm here. If I gotta go, I gotta go. Remember, we're always one together towards the one.
That's true. Thank you so much for being with us, Fantuzzi.
Peace and blessings, family.
Fantuzzi's really like the house musician, you know. He really is. All right, turning over to Deborah. Oh, you're muted, hon.
I think Ken is going to introduce.
You're right. I made a mistake. I made a mistake. I was supposed to put the spotlight on. I got so excited about Fantuzzi. I got so thrown off by his death thing. I was like, no. I got thrown. Okay, Kenny, take it away. Tell us about our comedy tonight.
We thank you, Fantuzzi. My brother from the other. He's so enlightened. Yes, and good. You know, you're gonna kick that Lyme disease. I know it, man, because you got a lot of love coming toward you.
It's going good, brother. It's going so good.
Thank you. Our love is with you. So, our next entertainment comes from all the way from India. Serena is a Sri Lankan-born, San Diego-raised, and San Francisco-based stand-up comedian, actor, and writer. She is known for her lighthearted, conversational banter to ruthless, dark jabs that shed light on cultural dilemmas in a exciting way. She recently opened for Comedy Central's roast battle champion, Frank Castillo. And so, Serena, take it away. Let's hear what you have to say from fun stuff.
Hey, how's it going? There it is. It's brilliant. You can see me. All right. Hey, what's up, y'all? Just a quick adjustment. Not coming to you from India, coming to you from San Diego. As you can see from this, it's a little fluid for me. You know, this is what I'm used to. I am Sri Lankan born, as you mentioned, but you know, I've been thinking a lot about this topic of unity, right? And one thing that I was having trouble thinking about, and once I plugged into this meeting, I really realized is that I think we can all unify on the fact that Scott looks a lot like Doc Antle. Can we all just take a moment to agree from Tiger King? I don't know if we're still talking about that, but God damn it, isn't the similarities? It's uncanny, man. Instead of, you know, collecting tigers, he's collecting prayer beads. You know what I mean? It's good. I'm stoked to be here. You know, thanks for having me. Yeah, I've just been contemplating a lot on the topic of unity, and because I have been living with my girlfriend recently, and on a side, I am bisexual, and I should probably change this. It's a little distracting. It took me a while to figure out I was bisexual, because every time I hooked up with a woman, I only did it when I was drunk. Next day, couldn't remember if I liked it or I did that for a year. right? Figured out I was an alcoholic before I was gay, all right? Then I started going on sober dates and I got even more confused. I was like, am I into women or empathy? You know what I mean? Like, do I like boobs or feeling understood? And now I'm at a place where, you know, I'm dating a woman for the first time in my life. And it's going great, but we moved in together, right? And a couple days later, shelter in place happened, which means it was kind of like you're eating an edible and then somebody's like, oh, wait, that's actually acid. And you're like, how long is this going to last? It really did something to you, you know? You're like, oh, wait, hold on. I wasn't ready for that much commitment, you know? 22 hours in a day, you know? Let's not do that. But, you know, she is in the other room, so I do want to say, you know, a couple nice things, you know, about her, because she does mean the world to me, you know what I mean? She's very sweet. She's very, I think that's a little backwards, isn't it? She's very sweet. She's very hardworking. She's very giving. I feel like she challenges me, you know, mentally, psychologically, you know what I mean, ethically. I feel like she makes me be better, you know what I mean? She makes me be better and want to be better for the world, you know? She makes me feel connected to everything that's going on, you know? Shit's wild right now. We can all agree. Shit's fucking bonkers, okay? I'll tell you what, never in my time did I think I'd see a bunch of white people, you know, protesting down the street, yelling, you know, Black Lives Matter that aggressively, getting arrested for it. Not in my day, you know what I mean? You love to see it though, but it is wild to think that, you know, it took like this perfect storm of, you know, someone very obviously getting murdered, it getting caught on camera, and also it coinciding with the fact that COVID is happening and we're all in pandemic and we all got the time to protest, baby. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing to see that many people come together and unify. Especially the other thing is I'm very happy that, you know, y'all believe in coronavirus. I didn't know what kind of conference this was going to be when I signed up. You know what I mean? I heard good things, but you never know, you know? And I love that we can all unify and agree that coronavirus fucking sucks, right? I think that's a great point to make. To just bring it back home. But one thing that's been interesting is it's weird to think that, you know, if I go near my mom, I could hurt them potentially, you know what I mean? Because of this virus, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's kind of given me a little power in our relationship, you know what I mean? Like a little power dynamic shift, you know what I mean? You keep talking like that, Mom, I'll come home for Thanksgiving, all right? I'll give you a fucking hug, okay? I'll kiss you on the cheek and tell you I love you while I inhale. It's a new kind of power, you know? I can appreciate that. What else? There's a couple other things I wanted to talk about. Yeah, we all are on that page. We can all agree that Scott, you know, nothing wrong with, you know, being a silver fox, you know what I mean? You know, if he's got the hair, you know, if we can't say it out loud, then maybe I don't want to be right. You know what I mean? And Jay is like scratching his bald head. I get it. We're all we're unifying on this. No, I love it. We got some handsome men up in here, you know what I mean? Don't forget these beautiful ladies. But also, like many people, I have lost my job. You know, I was working as a barista, and y'all are very passionate about your milk alternatives. You know who you are. Oat milk, my God, okay? And I love it too. But I remember somebody walked into my cafe and they did one of the most piece of shit, you know, limp dick, fuck you fucking things you can do, right? They walked into my cafe and they stole some tips out of the tip jar. Yeah, and my coworker, she was like, you know, well, if he's stealing tips, like he needs it more than I do. So I've been stealing her tips because clearly I needed more, okay? My name is Serena. Thank you so much. That's been my time. If y'all are interested in following my stuff, I post funny videos. It's at Serena. That's also my Venmo if you want to throw me some bucks. Thank you so much for the time and the space and for having these conversations. Thank you so much.
There you go. Thanks. All right. Right. I apologize. I got thrown off there a little bit. So we're now going to hear from our last primary speaker, and her name is Woman Stands Strong. I'm sorry, Woman Stands Shining. I have not been drinking, by the way. I'm just, I think, all of a sudden 4 hours sleep is catching up with me. I really appreciate that we are bringing people in from so many different cultures, so many different worlds. And we've been wanting to have Woman Stand Shining, who's also known as Pat McCabe, on our show for a while. We've been asking her, and finally she made the time for us. And I really appreciate it. Also, not only did she make the time to be on the show with us, but wanted to go kind of towards the end. So thank you for being with us all night long. And we're very eager to hear your wisdom about unity, how we move from separation to oneness.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm really happy to come on after the comedy hour there. Thank you for that. So my name is Pat McCabe. I'm from the Dene Nation. So I'll say She'e'ia, Tachi Inishli, Aro Ashi Bashishchi, Mairish Gejne Dashanale, Klauschi Daushiche, Quatawas Dani Inishli. And that's not Latin based, is it? That's our Dene Besad, our original language, ancient language. And then I was also adopted by the Lakota spiritual way of life. And in that way, I was given the name Wiyakpa Najinwi. And that translates roughly to Woman Stand Shining. So, gosh, it was great to hear everybody. I'm a huge fan of Neale. And so that was great to see him. I've also been working with the Pachamama Alliance for many years. And so I'm really happy that we're contributing, and my presence here is contributing to their very important work right now for the rainforest and for the indigenous peoples. So I'm thinking about this unity, and see, the problem isn't that we have to get unified. I don't think. I think the problem is that we don't realize that we already are unified, that we already are united, that we already are in unity. Like, we don't have a choice. We don't have a choice. We think we do, but we don't. And I guess one way that I describe that sometimes is I say, you know, this Mother Earth, she doesn't understand us and them. She only understands we. That's her whole construct. Her whole construct is a we construct. And so, so just like our body, when our body starts thinking that it's separate, one part is separate from another, that's when we end up with disease, when one part of our body is fighting another part of our body. And so really that's our situation here on this Mother Earth, is that we are one. But when we behave as though we can be separate, as though we can be opposing, as though we can be undermining, as though I can have what I need even if you don't have what you need, and I can be happy having what I need even if you don't have what you need, then we end up in disease. And disease can be terminal. It can take away that life. So I guess, you know, other people have said that in other ways, but I wanted to reiterate that for us. So really our task is to wake up to the fact that we already are, as Thich Nhat Hanh says, interbeing. We're interbeing. And so one way that, one thing I wanted to talk about was that unity is something that a lot of people are talking about, and it's moving towards this idea that we are all connected. But I want to say that this is really important to me and to many peoples all around the world. We're talking about unity, but we're not talking about homogeneity, right? Because our diversity is our strength. And even modern science is coming to understand that at this point. So what I wanted to kind of illustrate for us here is a concept that comes out of Lakota Nation, and that is to talk about the sacred hoop of life. And so what we say is that every single entity of life, plants, four-legged, flying ones, swimming ones, creepy crawling ones, and then us five-fingered ones too, we all get to have a seat on this sacred hoop of life. And every member of this sacred hoop of life has to uphold their part of the hoop. And any time a member doesn't uphold their part of the hoop begins to fail. And so, you know, humanity was given the honor of having a seat on this sacred hoop of life. And we're not the whole hoop. We're acting like we're the whole hoop, but we're not the whole hoop. We get to have a seat on the hoop of life. And so, you know, one of my scientific inquiries is to say, okay, so each member has a way of upholding their part of the sacred hoop. And they have a special way of doing that. Like anteaters have their way of doing that. Dragonflies have their way of doing that. And human beings also have a way to do that. So a big part of my inquiry is to say, how do I uphold my part of the sacred hoop? And the thing is I can't just be my part. It's our kind. It's done by kinds. It's all the chimpanzees. It's all the whales. It's all, you know, so, and we're the same. And so really we have to, you know, what registers on this sacred, interconnected, deeply interconnected hoop of life is how much the whole species is upholding their part. So this sacred hoop of life doesn't differentiate between race or religion or who's justice oriented, who's hate oriented. We are measured in terms of life and our contribution to life by sorry, I'm getting my timer here, by the sum total of our actions. And so this is where our unity is so important. Now, what I wanted to just try to explain that part in terms of from our culture's perspective. But what I want to also say is, you know, culture, I'm going to say culture is not a human construct. Culture is the Mother Earth expressing herself as human being in any given place. And so these cultures are tuned into how to uphold their part of Thriving Life Plan, how to enact Thriving Life design in any given place. And so that's why these, you know, diversity in culture is so important. Just like our body, you know, our eye functions differently from our foot, our blood functions differently from our bones, you know, and so this is also true with all the diversity of life on the Mother Earth. And so at the same time as we're looking at unity, just like I have one body here, we really need to acknowledge the function of different cultures, different peoples, and how they contribute to the knowledge of how to be here. And the final thing I wanted to end with is just to say, I'm going to invite us. This is something that I really love, that a friend of mine who's working in neurology has talked to me about. And she's saying, you know, when we give a command to our body, it doesn't think about whether we know what we're doing or how to do something. We just give the command to our body. So that piece that you wrote, that Neale asked you to put in the chat, I'm going to ask you to give that as sort of a command to your body, and your body is just going to take it in and just say, right, I'm on it, and it's going to go, and it's going to figure it out. So we can do this in a number of different ways in terms of this transition that we're talking about. So my grandma said to me, we were born into beauty, as beauty, for joyful life. And that's the truth. And that's how I want to end. So great to be here and so great to hear everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And you can learn a lot more about Pat McCabe by going to her website, Woman Stands Shining, but the actual website is patmccabe.net, patmccabe.net. And you can learn more about, she's got some beautiful talks and interviews that you can download and listen to. I had watched this one about speaking to the water, and it was beautiful. So definitely go to patmccabe.net. So much for being with us tonight. God bless you.
And we've got one more musical act for you, and then we're going to go into community connections and have a lot more coming through. And we definitely want to end on music, because music really unites us, brings us together. And we have Valerie Romanoff coming back. She's an incredible musician. She heals through her music, raises consciousness through her music. And here she is again. Thank you so much for being with us again, Valerie.
It is my pleasure. I love this whole vibe, and I love the message. I like to create all kinds of different music, from still to chill to thrill, because each has a different kind of medicine. But the common thread is that music has vibrations. It holds vibrations, and it can transmit vibrations out into the universe and affect everyone. And our thoughts and our prayers and intentions are also energy. And we know that our thoughts and prayers create our reality. So I'd like to ask everybody for a minute to spend a little time while I play this music to visualize what we want to see in the world. Visualize this unity that we're talking about and how important it is. And after we do that, we're going to send it all out on a wave of sound and vibrant music. Those prayers and dreams, and we're gonna send it all out on a big wave of energy out to the stars.
Reach for the stars, dare to dream.
This is my whole band singing along, everybody. Putting our hearts together and sending out our dreams.
Dare to dream, dare to dream, it's alright. With our hearts together, lighting up the night, dare to dream. Reach for the stars, maybe we can pull one down at a time. Dare to dream, it's alright. With our hearts together, lighting up the night, dare to dream. Reach for the stars, maybe we can pull one down at a time. If we only dare to dream. Coming at you, dare to dream. Just believe, and soon the dream be coming at you, dare to dream. Just believe, and soon the dream be coming at you, dare to dream. Just believe, and you will see. So dream on, dream on, dream on. Reach for the stars, dare to dream, dare to dream, dare to dream, dare to dream. It's alright, dare to dream. It's alright, it's alright. It's alright. Reach for the stars, dare to dream, dare to dream, dare to dream. It's alright.
right, we can do anything, everybody. Work this out.
Dare to dream. Reach for the stars. Dare to dream. Reach somebody, reach for the stars. Reach for the stars. It's alright. Dare to dream. Reach for the stars. Oh, it's right. Dare to dream.
Thank you, everybody. Blessings.
Wow. Talk about being able to make a guitar sing, right? Wow, that was really something.
Beautiful.
Joy. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Deborah, and thank you, Scott, and thank you, everybody.
And you know, one more time, I'm going to pull up your PDF here. There we go. All right. You can learn more about magnificent Valerie Romanoff by going to ValerieRomanoffMusic.com. And what are we going to find there if we go to Valerie Romanoff Music?
Well, you'll find you'll find music, you'll find my albums, you'll find some writings that I did, but mostly this idea about still, chill, thrill, about how all of the different types of music have a different effect on us and how we can pick and choose and we can align ourselves with many different kinds of vibrations in music. And so I have writings all over the place and lots of music and some videos. And I'm always love collaborations and finding people to align with that have a common message. And it's just the greatest joy there is. So that's what the website's about.
Thank you so much for being with us. I sure hope you'll come back, Valerie.
I will.
All right, great. Well, we are kind of wrapping up our official part of the show, but we've got a great community connections planned for tonight. Scott Grace has created a very unique variation of a song you will probably recognize. Ursa Bell is going to sing. I think we might get a little light touch from Jay and Jan. And Missy Shamanatrix is going to be making a special appearance. So definitely stick around. And if you're wanting to be part of our community connection time, you get a minute. Please keep it to a minute. Nothing political, no belief systems, but more inspiration. How are you inspired by our show tonight? That's what we like to hear. So again, really want to thank all of our sponsors, Jay and Mark Sims. Really want to invite people to please come Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. And see Mark Sims on the show with me. And again, I want to thank Denise and Gabrielle and Carol, who are our most recent donors since the last time I looked at the list. And one last thing I'll mention, and then I'll turn it over to Deborah. July 11th, we are going to have a very special show. You know, next week we're going to take the 4th of July off, although there is something percolating in the community. Frankie and Kitty Wells and Earth Dance are putting together something which I'm going to support. I think I'm going to participate in. But we're not going to have a Saturday Night Live for the Global Peace Tribe next Saturday night. Hopefully you'll miss us a lot. We are definitely going to come back on July 11th with a very special show just dedicated to the Harmonic Convergence 2020. We'll be right in the middle of that week. And we're going to hear from people that are having experiences and getting ready for what could be truly a life-changing event. And then hopefully, with your support and the support of others, we'll be back on July 18th and hopefully kick off a whole summer season. That's our goal. So, and you know, to make all this happen, you've heard me say it before, but I really want us to acknowledge Deborah. She works unbelievably hard to make this all happen. She puts together all the systems and finds most of our speakers, and she's just extraordinary. And it is Deborah's birthday coming up. Yes, this is the last Saturday Night Live that we'll have before Deborah turns, I think it's 39 that she's turning. Her birthday on July 6th, though. Everybody, let's all wish Deborah a very happy birthday month. May July be Deborah Giusti celebration month.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, all the presenters. It's always so amazing to put this show together in a big pot of soup and see what comes up. It's just beautiful. Everyone spoke to the theme of unity so beautifully. And the musicians and all the donors, thank you so much for your donation. We do hope to continue this. It's very divinely inspired, whether we like it or not. We feel passionately wanting to do it, and your donations really helps us. So thank you so much. Thank you, Jay, for being there for us, Mark Sims. And also, please come to July 11th. It's going to be an amazing show about harmonic convergence. And we love your suggestions about shows to do, about topics, about what you want to see. So connect with us on that. So thank you so much, and sending you so much love. Now I'll turn it over to Kenny.
Thanks, everybody. And wow, what another Saturday Night Live alive, now that we are alive more than we were before. So I want to thank everybody, and so many inspirational words and wisdom from everybody, and just thank you again. And remember to, I haven't seen any donations of $5. Everybody's doing it a lot better this week. But if you can just afford $5 and you can just do that and it doesn't hurt too much, then please give us a little bit more love. We can always use it. Make sure you do a little bit more. You can get some extra bonuses. And look for us on the 11th of July for an exciting show that Deborah and Scott have been talking about. So I can't wait to see what that's going to be.
All right. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Ken. I was thinking Mark Sims because I was about to sing July 11th. But I've really lost it in the last half hour, I got to say. But I've got enough energy left to introduce a couple of special guests from our community. This is our community connection time. And if some of you in the audience, we still have about 200 people with us in the Zoom room, if you're wanting to come on and join us, please send me a message in the chat box. And for anybody watching on Facebook or on the World Unity Week channel or on Awake TV, you can still come on into our Zoom room. You can still do it. Just go to theglobalpeacetribe.com, click register here, and boom, in about 30 seconds, you'll be with us. And then in the chat box, send me a message telling me why you'd like to come on and what you'd like to share. And if so, I'll bring you on. That's how it works. In fact, one of the people that we're going to lead with is one of our beloved community members. Yes, Scott Grace, it is your turn. And thank you, Scott. You've been really patient with us. And Scott's created a very unique variation of one of our favorite songs. Take it away, Scott.
Indeed. Yes, this is one of the things I most love to do in the world, which is to take events like this and summarize them in song, to put the movement into a song. So here it is. I see latex gloves, facial masks too, millions of people with nothing to do, and I say to myself, it's still a wonderful world. I see skies getting bluer, air getting clean, a pause in the madness, we awake from a dream, and I say to myself, it's still a wonderful world. Don't you agree?
Absolutely.
Could it be that this pandemic, as hard as it can be, is for our transformation, supporting unity? I see friends washing hands, standing 6 feet apart, but there's no distance between our hearts. I see 7 million people all across the earth, facing this madness, embracing rebirth, and I think to myself, it's still a wonderful world. Oh yeah, could it be that this racism now being revealed is coming to the surface to be cleansed and to be healed. I see protesters all over, every color of their skin, black, white, brown folks discovering we're kin. Oh wait, I see 7 billion people, diverse as we can be, awakening to oneness, a human family, and I'll say to myself, it's still a wonderful world. Everybody, we say to ourselves, it's still a wonderful world.
Oh, that was fantastic. That was really, really, and God bless you, Scott, and God bless Louis Armstrong. And God bless whoever wrote that song, the original version. But I love what you did with it. Morgine in the chat box is saying she wants a copy of it. She says, I want a recording. Thanks so much, Scott Grace. You are incredible. So you got a fan out there, Morgine. Thanks, Scott. All right. Next up, we had planned on Ursa Bell. And there she is. All right. Hey, Ursa, are you about ready? Wow, look at those beautiful lights. Look at that beautiful angel.
Let tonight another light and shine our light so starry bright and soar into the starry light and shine our light so starry bright. Love heals all. Love hears our call, love blesses all. That's me and our heart in the place where we are never apart. Heal every heart down, heal every heart down, unite in our light and shine our light and go forth and shine our light, go forth and shine our light and heal every heart and heal every heart. Together as one, together as one, we shall heal every heart, unite in our light, unite in our light, and heal every heart, heal every unite in our love lives, heal every heart.
Together with our unity, we can heal every heart. I love you. Bless you.
Thank you, Teresa. And from that beautiful psychedelic temple of yours, we're going to go to another psychedelic goddess who's part of our community. Shamanatrix, Missy Galore, you're up.
Bless, bless, Cosmic Family. What another amazing Saturday Night Live galactivation. I'm so inspired by this constellation, and I had to jump on tonight and reflect the cosmic yum with everyone, because in fact we are united as one. The beauty of the true wisdom that everyone shares is that it rings true in the hearts, in my heart and everywhere. And I have a small mantra to reflect back and chant. Grateful for our soul tribe dance. Bliss, good people, it's unity. Rose fractal identity. I see you inside of me. I see we in all that be. Love, love, love. Oh, it's love. Love, love, love. Oh, it's love. Bliss, good people, it's unity. Rose fractal identity. I see you inside of me. I see we in all that be. Love, love, love. Oh, it's love, 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 united love. I love you. Thanks so much for shining your heart light so bright, luminous love light through all space time. I'm so grateful for your soul shine. I love you.
We love you too, Shamanatrix. Thank you so very, very much for being with us tonight.
Happy holidays. Thanks for all these great shows.
Yeah, well,
Happy
you know,
birthday, Deborah.
that's the big holiday coming up, is Deborah's birthday. Absolutely. And
Celebration of life.
there's only 6 more shopping days until Deborah's birthday. Let's just keep that in mind. Hey, we're going to hear from Dana Tomasino.
Oh, it's great. I'll turn off the mic.
Aloha, everyone. Nice to see you all. I just came over from World Unity Week, which I have to say was an absolutely amazing event and really honoring the dedication of all the people involved in creating that event. It was amazing. And my background is that I was a researcher at the HeartMath Institute for 12 years, and I started there in 1995. I helped to write up a lot of the research on the intelligence of the heart that HeartMath has put out over the years. And I would just like to say, in terms of unity, that really the first step in creating unity from my perspective would be really to create unity between the mind and the heart in each person, because the mind and the heart have not been unified for a very long time in our society. But it's really the heart's intelligence that connects us with a much larger awareness, the intelligence and awareness of our higher self. It connects us with our multidimensional awareness. And from that place always considers the whole. It's always about compassion and the most unconditional love. So learning how to connect the heart's intelligence with the mind, it's all about them working in synchrony and collaboration, is a wonderful first step in creating unity in each individual. And from that place of coherence, from that place of heart coherence, where the mind and the heart and the whole body mind are in synchrony, from there we can create more social coherence in our families, communities, societies. And then that extends naturally to global coherence, to creating a globally coherent society on Earth. And probably many of you know about HeartMath's Global Coherence Initiative, which is all about that, sending heart-focused care as a coherent network of people all over the planet with that intention of creating a globally coherent, unified, heart-based world. So I just wanted to insert that heart frequency here tonight and invite us all to connect with our hearts.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Dana. Thank you very much. And we did an entire show in collaboration with Teresa Collins and Global Coherence, with HeartMath represented. And we did that show maybe 5-6 weeks ago. So I want to just encourage everybody to go back and take a look at some of the shows that we've done in the past, because they're really quite special. And thank you, Dana, for that beautiful reminder. Thank you. I invited Clayton Barker to come on up because I was really impressed with what I saw him write in the chat box. I don't know Clayton, but now I got a chance to meet him. Hey, Clayton, how you doing?
Hey, Scott, nice to see you. Thank you for the lucky privilege to be here. And I've been a student of Kamala and Wiakman Najin Win for a while, so it was wonderful to hear them. And I play many roles, and tonight I'm wearing my EMT hat for several reasons. I'm a part of the National Registry of Emergency Medical Technicians, and my sadhu Satguru from India asked me to join the EMT band of modern medicine people. I'm an indigenous European American human being, universal soul, and I have blood relatives from all 5 continents. And for me, it's really important for me to use my white-looking male privilege to take a little moment of silence for the passing of my fellow EMT out in Louisville, Kentucky, Breonna Taylor. So I'd just like everyone to just pause. And then say Breonna Taylor's name with me, Breonna Taylor.
Maximum grace for Breonna Taylor.
Yeah, and all people of color. And part of my role in society is that I'm a white male who's dedicated to worshiping the Divine Mother and serving dialogue systems that respect the voices of women of color and indigenous peoples. And I'm not a saint or a master at that, but I'm trying to bring that into places where it's very difficult. And I've been sharing a lot of nonviolent communication, mindfulness, stress reduction inside 7 prisons, 6 military camps, 22 schools, police academies, and public safety academies. And I would like to welcome anyone here who has any connections. For me, I'm designing a curriculum with Jack Lehman, who's a certified trainer from the Center for Nonviolent Communication, to be able to teach police forces, police academies about white privilege, racial justice, white fragility, and how to practice nonviolent communication, mindfulness, stress reduction, and how to actually build a dialogue system with local communities that will hear the voices of women of color and indigenous peoples. So please feel free to reach out to me. I live in Santa Rosa, California, and I just want to sing a little gratitude song for everyone on this call, all the frontline health care workers that are working during the pandemic, and also people like Breonna Taylor inspiring me to persist in this fight for racial justice, peace, and ecological sustainability. So this is a gratitude song that I've been writing since my first pilgrimage to India in 2008. And it's 38 different languages on how I've learned how to say thank you from the different indigenous peoples of all continents that I've been listening to. So you can imagine gratitude for yourself, your family, your community, your nation, and the world in whatever ways you want as a meditation while I'm singing this song. Wopila danyavad tukanjaiche, anandri anandi and juhule, and obrigado arigato kamseyo, yehe she. Ahandalila sasrika shukriya, aneo twata and the tohoda, adanka shane dungivel taklabas, agitos spasiba gracias, amasi hadninsin hosiam, awebale akapkun kapagingi, I thank we mahalo. I thank we to Saturday Night Live. I thank we to Fantuzi. I thank we to Kamala. I thank we to Wayakpa. I thank we to Mr. Gershon. I thank we to Skadakamas. I thank we to Neale Donald Walsch. I thank we to Deborah. I thank we, oh, I thank we, oh, I thank we, oh.
Thank you, Clayton. That's beautiful. That's a just wonderful way to wrap up our evening or come close to it. It was just gorgeous. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you very much,
Through-
brother.
Well, you know, that's the beautiful thing. We're all meeting so many wonderful new people in our tribe. So thank you very much. Is there anyone else who wishes to share? I sent messages to a couple of people, but I don't see cameras on. So if you're wanting to share, unmute yourself and I will find you. Otherwise, we're going to wrap up, and I want to show one more time the videos that we showed at the beginning, all about the Harmonic Convergence 2020. It's really about 18 minutes. It's 2 videos. I'll show them both back to back. And Moira, unbelievable. It's even though it's got to be what 1:40 where you are, Moira. She's still here with us. So thank you, longtime friend. Peter Milton, were you wanting to say something?
Yes, sir. Please.
All right, here he is. Peter Milton, who has done so much this week to put so many people on the World Unity Week channel programming. He was booking people and building rooms and doing all sorts of good stuff. Thank you, Peter.
Yeah, my pleasure. What a treat. And what a powerful week, and what a new model for connection and networking. It's just amazing. And it's just going to build from here. If you haven't been, worldunityweek.org, and a bunch of the stuff is still up and will continue to be up in a living library, or go to the World Unity Week Facebook page and you can see 100 videos because we went live to many of the different programs. So they're all there sitting in the live stream. And we also had the wonderful chance to launch a children's fable that I wrote that's called Waves of Oneness, 2 waves talking to each other and realizing that maybe they're connected to themselves somehow. And that was inspired from my friend Neale Donald Walsch, who I worked with for several years way back in 2000. I love writing in that style where different things talk to each other, as he did with talking to the God of his understanding. So that's great. I also got to launch my Unity sign, which is the new peace sign. We used to think we were separate. We're remembering that we're connected. Here in the heart is where we remember that. When we come from that heart-based unity consciousness, we can create peace on earth. And so it's a peace in, peace out move. And there's a big dance program that's coming up that is going to be happening in August that I'll tell you guys about more next week. But lots of great projects brewing. And then a big event in September with World Unity Week is doing its next thing, which is a peace weekend on the International Day of Peace weekend, September 17 to 21. So great to have you guys involved with World Unity Week. And this is the last moments of World Unity Week is ending when this show ends. So happy to be one of the last speakers and put a cap on an amazing 8 days. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for everything you do, Peter. And, you know, again, we're all coming together doing amazing, amazing work. So thank you, buddy.
Yes.
All right. And again, just to put the spotlight on Jay for a moment, again, you can go to light-touch.me and see more about what Jay's doing. And of course, you can also go to lovecoachacademy.com. Jay, any last words of wisdom?
Yes, it's very important that we remember that we have magical powers live inside of us. And there is a way to communicate with yourself, and it's called light touch. And it's through stimulating the end neurons, you create a current of energy with yourself. And you can send blessings, you can request money, you can heal your marriages, you can create miracles in your life. And Jesus and others said that we should be creating miracles. It's normal to create miracles, but we have to ask. And Light Touch can help you heal your marriage with Scott Katamas and Love Coach Academy. They have trained people that are here to serve and people in crisis. So please feel free. If you feel like, wow, I might have a divine appointment, yeah, pick up a phone, call us, check in. It's our privilege to show you the tools that you need to, to smile and feel blessed.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Jay. Deborah, I'm going to put the spotlight on you for a moment just to see if there's anything you'd like to say before we pop on our closing videos. You're muted.
Nope, I wasn't muted.
Just to send so much love, to receive so much love. That's what this show is about. Bottom line is love. So I appreciate everyone here so much. And I look forward to coming back again in a whole new way as we keep evolving forward. So thank you, Scott.
Absolutely. All right, so we are going to start playing these two beautiful videos, all about kind of the history of the harmonic convergence and the direction it's going in now.
In 1987, millions of people around the world joined together in the first synchronized global meditation for world peace, known as the Harmonic Convergence. This historic event coincided with a remarkable alignment of planets, drawing together people of all faiths and colors to usher in a new era of peace on Earth and to initiate contact with higher dimensional beings. On July 14th, 2020, 33 years later, a similarly rare alignment is occurring. Welcome to the Harmonic Convergence 2020.
Harmonic convergence is like the launching pad for phase 2 of the cultural revolution that began on this planet in the 1960s.
On August 16th and 17th, 1987, Jose and Loidine Arguelles called for a harmonic convergence, an event to bring the global human family together, to raise our consciousness and, as a result, usher in world peace. And in a time without the internet, social media, or the ubiquity of cell phones, millions around the world joined, even resulting in a collective Om on Johnny Carson's Tonight Show.
True believers say this is the beginning of a new age, and even the skeptics might agree we could use one about now.
Most of this energy is directed to that, to a future where we can have some of the problems of hunger and war and racism and sexism and all those type of things resolved.
We have lost this beautiful harmony way of life, and also the love that goes with it. That is the only way we ever gonna unite, is through our love for all people and everything here on earth.
It's just a preparation for the earth to regenerate itself from the way we've treated it, and to make different choices. And the energy is available astrologically from the prophecies from these different cultures.
This is about time.
At the core of the 87 Harmonic Convergence was the belief that the current Gregorian calendar system, based on a 12-month calendar year, was deeply out of sync with the rhythms of nature, giving rise to global discord as a result.
The harmonic convergence is based upon the cycles of time as charted by the Mayan calendar.
Ancient civilizations, from Egypt to Greece, the Mayans, the Celtic Druids, and even the Native American Lakota, operated on a 13-month calendar, known as the lunar solar calendar. They followed this calendar as a way to maintain the natural harmony of the rhythms of nature. As a simple way to understand this, consider that a year is 365 days, one full rotation of the Earth around the Sun. However, what we call a month, based on the word moon, is about 28 days. The moon rotates around the Earth 13 times in 1 year, not 12. Therefore, why do we not operate on a cycle of 13 months consisting of 28 days? Would this not be closer to the natural order of time?
We didn't know, all of us, we were living in the wrong time. So when we get on the new time, we will have a return to our natural biological cycle.
Interestingly, Even a woman's natural fertility cycle is 28 days, which matches the moon's orbit of Earth.
And you better believe it, women. That's why we have felt at war within our own body system, because we literally have not had the right standard of measure for our biological timing.
The crooked calendar creates a crooked mind, creates a crooked society, creates a crooked civilization.
We got to break out of this. The Gregorian calendar is something that's really upsetting the natural balance. The effect of it is that we are living in a system of time that is out of sync with nature.
The 87 Harmonic convergence was a call to step into a higher order of human consciousness, one that is more harmonized with nature and in deep connection with the soul's natural tendency toward love.
On a non-physical level, us being here and thinking of peace and love and it's sending out energy, and that it has an effect on the cosmos.
The belief was that by tuning to higher states of consciousness, it would not only call forth a new age of peace and well-being on Earth, but would also give humanity access to higher dimensional extraterrestrial beings, proving once and for all that we are not alone.
There may be UFO sightings, or there may not be, but there will definitely be some type of communications of an extraterrestrial nature.
Rather than seeing extraterrestrial contact as something enabled by technology, Arguelles believed it's simply a natural result of raising our consciousness to a higher level, one where they could hear us and we could hear them, benefiting from the knowledge they impart. Since the 87 Harmonic convergence, UFO sightings have continued to be on the rise, paralleling an increasing number of scientists, researchers, and former military who are disclosing the truth about our neighbors in the cosmos. In fact, for those who look, there's a fairly rich history of human and ET contact. As far back as 1958, Wilbert Smith, a Canadian government worker with a master's degree in electrical engineering and over a half-dozen patents, set out to research the phenomenon of UFOs.
I started the investigation out of curiosity and as an extreme skeptic, fully expecting to find the phenomena to be due to man-made or natural causes.
And what he found completely changed his life.
There is virtually no doubt that alien craft are visiting this Earth, and that the beings who operate them are very much like us, probably our distant relatives.
During his investigation, Wilbert Smith made contact with an ET named Ava, who helped him understand the underlying physics and philosophy of the ETs and their spacecraft.
I began for the first time in my life to realize the basic oneness of the universe and all that is in it. Science, philosophy, religion, substance, and energy are all facets of the same jewel. And before any one facet can be appreciated, the form of the jewel itself must be perceived.
Could it be that the evolution of our spiritual nature is connected to the presence of ETs on Earth? What if connecting to higher states of consciousness, states of love, unity, and kindness were the key to unlocking a new phase of civilization, one where we recognize that we are truly not alone? Global UFO sightings continue to be on the rise, and over the 33 years since the first Harmonic convergence, a new community of seekers, scientists, and peace activists have found that through certain meditation practices that open the heart to love and kindness, reliable contact can be made with our cosmic family.
We are not alone.
You're muted, Scott.
Thank you. We still have 125 people in the Zoom room, and that's really beautiful. Thank you, everybody, for watching. That was part one. And I'm now going to play part two. And thank you, Kenny and Clayton, for still being here, and Dana, and all the people that are still in our room. It's really amazing. All right, let's go to part two now.
33 years after the 1987 Harmonic convergence, the world is a very different place. Meditation, yoga, and transforming consciousness have gone mainstream. We've seen an outpouring of companies donating billions towards social impact and ecological restoration. A new generation of entrepreneurs are dedicated to making social impact over bottom-line profit. And there is a resurgence of indigenous wisdom making its way into the Western world. And yet, we continue to participate in the destruction of ecosystems and indigenous lands. While in many ways things are better than ever, social media and smartphones have made it impossible to hide from our own shadow. We find ourselves in 2020 at an unprecedented time of division. But strong division also provides us with a rare opportunity for profound healing, transformation, and unity. And as we approach another exceptional alignment of planets and prophecy, it's time to prepare ourselves for the harmonic convergence of 2020. In the year 2020, while many people may still feel shy about sharing their belief in extraterrestrials, more than half of the human population believes they exist, and 61% of those who believe think that we should try to make contact. Is humanity ready to accept once and for all that we are not alone through mass contact? And there are those who are claiming that they don't need to believe in ETs because they know they exist.
I learned about Dr. Stephen Greer and what he was doing teaching people the CE5 protocol, which was a meditative practice that he developed to initiate contact with extraterrestrial intelligence.
The CE5 protocol, developed by Dr. Stephen Greer, has resulted in over 30,000 people participating in contact expeditions, many resulting in UFO sightings or even direct contact experiences.
And I was skeptical, very skeptical when I first heard about this. And there were a lot of people claiming that they had indeed met extraterrestrials, that they had had face-to-face experiences, in fact, that led to friendships. I was like, I want to look into this.
On the 5th night of a 6-day training with Dr. Greer, Mark had a life-changing experience.
Right after we meditated, we opened our eyes and we're looking up in the sky, and a ship materialized out of thin air right in front of us. When I went back to my hotel room, I could not fall asleep. I decided to sit up in my bed and do my own meditation and try to summon a ET, and guess what? It worked. I opened my eyes, and standing at the end of my bed is a light being, a being that appears to be a hologram.
Since that night, Mark has developed a deep connection with the ET named Teshbar. Teshbar has shared with Mark aspects of the ET philosophy that may help us understand the next stage of human progress.
So he told me that consciousness begins in the animal kingdom, and through the modus operandi of reincarnation, the soul, the individualized soul, is developed. And when that dies, that little spark of consciousness is released, and that happens many, 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 many times. And then we graduate to the human level. So if this is true, and I believe it is, we have this very tight connection to nature that goes beyond just being out in nature and appreciating it. We are nature. We have been those animals. You were the frog. You were the praying mantis. You were the butterfly. You were the eagle. You were the wolf.
If the soul progresses through different physical forms to learn lessons, what are the characteristics that we must now learn in order to grow to the next stage of the soul's evolution?
Teshbar said that mastering unconditional love was the key to ascension after the physical death. And I asked him the question, well, what is unconditional love, and how does one master it? And he said, that's for you to discover.
What does it mean to accept and love others unconditionally? And is humanity ready to make the leap?
To truly love another human being, you have to first love yourself unconditionally. Only then can you truly love another.
Could it be that in the school of Earth, humanity is learning how to love one another. And if we can pass the test, we will graduate to join a universal family of advanced beings.
It would appear that we are well along the way to becoming truly civilized. And if we can refrain from committing racial suicide and learn to respect the dignity and brotherhood of man, we can expect eventually to be welcomed into the great cosmic fraternity of the advanced races that inhabit the regions beyond the limits of this little planet.
But if we take an honest look at the state of the world today, we may still have some lessons to learn about what it means to be a species of love.
One of the things that we are lacking on this planet is a reverence for life. And all the insects and all the mammals and birds and reptiles and amphibians, they all make a tapestry of life that we have lost reverence for.
One of the most glaring examples of a lack of reverence for life today is the continued destruction of Earth's ecosystems. Often this comes at the cost of sacred lands that have been protected by indigenous peoples for centuries. Unbeknownst to many, indigenous lands account for about 80% of the Earth's biodiversity. Perhaps there is a reason that they are its protectors. Perhaps a first step toward embodying the principle of love would be to learn from and integrate their wisdom, seeking to protect instead of extract.
All of us had gotten away from the purpose of being here, away from the Creator. We are here for purpose. Get the people to come and unite. Unity was the way the people lived before, in harmony.
Though despite opportunities for growth, humanity finds itself at an unprecedented time of opportunity to make massive change.
We must remember that in the last 100 years, we have increased our technology from the level of horse-drawn wagons to space shuttles, men walking on the moon, computers in the home, etc. If we were studying quantum physics, we would say a particle that's gathering so much momentum and so much energy is preparing to make a quantum leap into the next higher level or the next higher energy state. We are indeed beginning to enter the quantum evolution phase of the human race.
Nothing like this has happened before in the context of which it's happening with the technology, and that we're a world community, truly a world community now for the first time.
If we recall, millions of people unified for the Harmonic convergence of 1987. So, what is possible today in an age of mass communication?
What we are doing is an experiment in which we're engaging the planet, all the people who wish to be part of something remarkable that would result in a global sighting, where everybody sees a ship at the same time. And there's no question after this that we are not alone. And that's what is before us. That's the opportunity for us.
On July 14th, 2020, a powerful and rare alignment of planets provides a similar opportunity to the 87 convergence. What can we do to prepare ourselves for this powerful moment and take advantage of the opportunity that is before us?
So the preparation for the Harmonic convergence is as critical as what we do on those days. And it's really a time for people to prepare on a very deep level to come together on those days, to totally focus from their hearts an energy of love and of healing, to surround and embrace our planet, to give our total focus and our total love emanated from the heart.
The Harmonic Convergence 2020 virtual event is a transformational 10-day experience with speakers, performances, and meditations designed to help us prepare energetically for universal contact.
We want to prepare people for what's about to happen.
Evolution is spiritual and mental. We are here to advance our intelligence, to raise our mental horizons, to expand our spirituality.
We want peace on Earth. We don't want to destroy it. And there is a future for us all. We may have different ways of describing it, but we all have a common aim. And the world is getting in such a mess nowadays that we have to work hard together to get through and to make a wonderful future.
If millions of us around the planet can unify in love and kindness, can we collectively transform the energy of pain and destruction into healing and creativity? The time is now for a spiritual transformation to happen, and it starts with you, stepping into your own capacity for love and sharing it with the world. No matter what our story is, we are all capable of love and kindness. Join us for an extraordinary gathering for the Harmonic Convergence of 2020.
May it be so. May it be so. I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. You can go to Harmonic Convergence 2020. Definitely please join me on Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time when I am going to do a second interview with Mark Sims to go deeper into what he's learned from the extraterrestrial that he's been communicating with since 2012. And stay tuned to us and all the other people that are putting out amazing information. And thank you for being with us. 125 people still. That's pretty cool. But I am going to take my dogs for a walk and say goodnight. Good night, everybody. Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend and hope to see you soon.